जय हिंद दोस्तों, मैं हूं मेजर मोहम्मद अली शाह और सबसे पहले तो मैं आई एक्सप्रेस माय हार्टफेल्ट कंडोलेंस टू पीपल द bereaved families who have lost their lives, the families whose relatives and friends have lost their lives in the unfortunate train tragedy that occurred in Odisha. And I was just speaking to Major Samar some time back, and he gave me some very good analysis of his. And anyway, उस पे हम बात करेंगे. But let me tell you, मेरी एक बड़ी ख्वाहिश थी कि मेजर समर के साथ मैं गुफ्तगू में आऊं. Why? Because he is truly, we all consider him, he is a legend. He is, जो इनके जिंदगी के तजुर्बे हुए हैं ना, they are unmatched. ये इन्हें जो जिंदगी जी है as a फौजी, as a guardian of our nation. I mean, these are stories, legends, which only people can dream of. अपने सपनों में लोग सोचते हैं कि एक ऐसी दुनिया हो, एक ऐसी जिंदगी जीनी है. इन्होंने वो जिंदगी हकीकत में जी है. और the biggest thing I will tell you is we have Samar with us right now. He's alive. सांसें ले रहे हैं आपके सामने. ये आप सबकी दुआएं हैं वाकई में. Major Samar has actually seen death. Yes. They call it a miracle ना, कि miracle हुआ कि कोई भगवान के पास जाके आया वापस. He is that person. We will talk on that experience as well. उससे पहले let's welcome Major Samar Singh Toor. Samar, Jai Hind, and thank you very much for coming on the show, bhai.
Sir, Jai Hind, sir.
How are you, brother? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, sir. I'm on my path to recovery. And मेरा थोड़ा speech is slow, but I am getting into the rhythm, sir. Going to get back to where I was. But yes, I am alive. I am here, sir. Yes, it has been quite a journey, sir.
समर अभी वेंटिलेटर से उठकर आए हैं, वेंटिलेटर से, और इनको अस्पताल में कह दिया गया था कि भाई सर्वाइवल के कोई चांस है ही नहीं. इनकी फैमिली को बता दिया गया था कि इनके सर्वाइवल के चांस है ही नहीं. और फिर कुछ उम्मीद जागी, किरण जागी उम्मीद की. 5%, 15%, 25% करते करते टुडे ही इज हियर विद अस, अलाइव एंड किकिंग, एंड आई एम सो ग्रेटफुल टू गॉड. बट उस पे भी आएंगे समर. सबसे पहले, any message you would like to convey to families of the bereaved जिनका ये ट्रेन एक्सीडेंट में जिनको अफेक्टेड हुए हैं, और अपने एक्सपीरियंस से आपको जोड़ना चाहेंगे इनके लिए कुछ संदेश?
Sir, मेरे heartfelt condolences to the families, because ultimately who have been a victim to this accident or have met fatality in this accident, God bless their soul, they are not there. But उनका जो loss है, the brunt of their loss, that is unexplainable horror and trauma that the families will go through, because probably in April my family also went through the same when I was probably on the deathbed. So later on I realized it's not the person who's no more, it's about the family that is traumatizing, which is very difficult. So I strongly have this conviction that the government is going to take care of these families, and whoever have their life insurances and everything, they are going to be compensated decently well enough by the organizations, and they are going to be looked after. So that is my humble expectation and my sole wish for the bereaved families. And we are with them at this moment, sir. We are truly with them, and it is like, we all are like a family as a country. And it has hit us. Morning wasn't easy. We prayed and for the souls to be at peace. I'm sure whoever is aware of this news would also have prayed for the bereaved victims. And we are a family, we are one. And so, yes, it has definitely affected everyone, be it their daily activities, but this has taken up a space in our minds. It is a big accident. Should not have happened.
यस समर, समर माहौल इतना हैवी हो गया था, इतना सैडनेस भर गया था, सो आई सेड राइट पर्सन टू ऐड पॉजिटिविटी टू द माहौल इज समबडी जो वाकई में डेथ के इतने करीब जाकर आया है, एंड ही वुड बी द राइट पर्सन टू टेल एवरीवन. बट समर एक बार शुरू करते हैं आपकी जिंदगी के तजुर्बे से. यू आर थर्ड जनरेशन फौजी, and was it an obvious choice for you to join the army itself?
Sir, initially, my father never used to discuss regarding his job at home. He used to keep office work away from home. And sir, at a very early age, I went to Sherwood College, Nainital Hostel when I was 6 years old. So I never
मतलब
had much of
हम
an.
बॉर्डर्स की बात ही अलग है भैया. आई एम फ्रॉम लॉरेंस
Yes,
टू
sir.
लवडेल. हम बॉर्डर्स
Okay,
की बात ही
sir.
अलग है.
Sir, so that environment itself was something like a mini military kind of a setup where you had proper schedule for your exercises, for your classes, for your extracurricular activities. So
एक सेकंड,
everything
हमारे
was.
हमारे दर्शकों के लिए फील्ड मार्शल सैम मैनिकशॉ शेवुड कॉलेज के थे, जिस स्कूल में मेजर समर पढ़े थे. अमिताभ बच्चन
Yes,
साहब
sir.
स्कूल के हैं जहाँ पे समर साहब पढ़े थे. जनरल अता हसनैन शेवुड कॉलेज के हैं
Yes.
जहाँ पे मेजर समर पढ़े थे. माय फादर इज फ्रॉम सेंट जोसेफ नैनीताल सेम, सो देयर वाज सर्टेन
Okay,
राइवलरी
sir.
बिटवीन.
यस यस हमारे फुटबॉल मैचेस में बड़े पंगे होते थे. इवन बॉक्सिंग वाज लेटर ऑन स्टॉप्ड इन 92 or 93, sir, because I think one of the students had a brain hemorrhage. As a result, the full boxing community took a stand that boxing should be avoided. Rest other sports were there like judo, karate, gymnastics, football, hockey, volleyball, basketball, बैडमिंटन, एथलेटिक्स. तो ये सारे तो हमारे आपस में होते ही थे स्कूल में.
Do
बट
you know
यस
Arpan?
राइवलरी तो
Do
थी.
you know Arpan
हेल्थी
Dixit
वन.
by any chance? Must be a couple of years senior to you. Arpan Dixit.
अर्पण दीक्षित, नहीं सर, आई वुडंट रिकॉल. ही वुड बी
हाँ वो
क्वाइट
सीनियर होगा
सीनियर
वो
सर.
काफी.
हाँ सर, ही
राइट.
वुड बी क्वाइट सीनियर सर. तो ये है
हाँ तो
सर.
आप शेरपुर में थे, तो शेरपुर में आपका रेजिमेंटल वही सेम रूटीन था फिर.
हाँ, शोवुड में लाइक हमारे हाउसेस थे. सो वी हैड एलन डेल, लिटिल जॉन, फ्रायर टक एंड रॉबिन हुड. एंड सो यू नो जब कॉम्पिटिशन्स होते थे तो इट वाज बिटवीन दीज हाउसेस के एलजे वर्सेस एफटी वर्सेस आरएच वर्सेस एडी. तो हमारा एक वो कमराडरी बनी रहती थी बीइंग फ्रॉम द सेम हाउस. एंड इन केस हम हार जाते थे कोई मैच या कुछ, तो पहले तो हमें सीनियर समझाते थे कि भाई दिस शुड नॉट हैव हैपेंड, यू प्लीज लुक इनटू इट, प्रैक्टिस एक्स्ट्रा, हम तुम्हें कोई रगड़ा नहीं दे रहे हैं, रात को तंग नहीं कर रहे हैं, सो डू योर बिट. उसके बाद जस्ट इन केस अगर कुछ हो जाता था देन हमें फिर स्वागत होता था, है ना, भारतीयों का स्वागत हॉकी से होगा. तो फिर हमारी ठीक ठाक सिखाई होती थी. एंड देन इवेंचुअली नेक्स्ट मैच अगेन वी यूज्ड टू विन, सो वी यूज्ड टू गेट बैक इनटू द गेम. एंड लीग मैचेस चलते थे काफी प्रोलॉन्ग्ड मैनर में, तो इवेंचुअली यूज्ड टू end up in the semi-finals or winning a particular competition. पर प्रेशर रहता था सर फ्रॉम सीनियर्स. सो इट इज समथिंग सिमिलर टू दैट ऑफ द आर्मी एनवायरनमेंट कि सीनियर्स का प्रेशर तो रहता ही है. बट दैट इज वन वे, विद प्रेशर डायमंड्स आर फॉर्म्ड. सो रगड़ा ले लेके दैट रिफाइनमेंट kept coming over the years. As juniors, when we became seniors, then we knew how to tackle with our juniors and we used to balance it out. तो it was like a chain, sir. वो चलता ही रहा. It was like a chain reaction. So that is how it was, sir.
And tell me, after, तो you didn't think of joining the NDA after your 12th?
Sir, 12th I did from JK Public School, Kunjwani, 11th and 12th. And I did my 10th from APS Noida, Arun Vihar. So, because my father's posting was like he was in the forces, so he got posted to Northeast. तो इसे नॉर्थ ईस्ट से पहले आएगा कौन लेने नैनीताल, फिर वहां से वापस आना, फिर अगेन जाना. तो इज लाइक यार हमारा एक हफ्ता तो आने जाने में लग जाएगा इन द समर ब्रेक. एंड इट वाज क्वाइट डिफिकल्ट, सर. वी वर अ न्यूक्लियर फैमिली. आई हैव नो सिबलिंग्स, आई एम द ओनली चाइल्ड. So eventually they took a decision and I was withdrawn. So 9th and 10th I did from APS Noida Arun Vihar, and 11th 12th I did from JK Public School Kunjwani. And it was good sir, but 12th में जब मैं था तब कालूचक का मैसेकर हुआ था, जो टेरर अटैक था. That was the first attack ever on a military family accommodation establishment by the terrorists. फिदाइन जो हुआ था, there were 3 of them. तो तब मेरी स्कूल बस हाईवे पे ही खड़ी थी and we could hear the gunshots and all happening. Later on, I realized, like when we learnt, my mother was working as the general manager of the State Times newspaper in Jammu Amphla. So in the evening, then my mother came back, and then I saw the newspaper and everything. It was quite horrific. It was quite traumatizing. It was very difficult to digest the kind of gore and the violence and the kind of 36 family members were killed. So there I realized that even my family is very vulnerable then. My parents are quite vulnerable, be it wherever I am. And eventually then I made up my mind that I'll keep myself physically fit. And I used to feel very helpless. गुस्सा आता था कि I do not have the means and the power to do anything to counter these people. But I think patience always pays. That is one aspect, that patience will definitely channelize you to a better future. लोगों में आजकल ना the youth is very anxiety prone. जल्दी जल्दी, I want success easy and quick, but nothing comes quick and nothing comes easy. It's always hard work, and with hard work you achieve greater success, and then that pressure remains to remain at that rate of success. You got to maintain it. तो ये सारी चीजें सर, विद टाइम आई लर्नड, आई वर्कड ऑन टू इट. कॉलेज में देन आई टुक एडमिशन, माय फादर गॉट पोस्टेड टू बड़ौदा, एंड देन वही है सर, आई वाज वेरी फोकस्ड. एंड थर्ड ईयर में देन आई गेव माय फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट एंडिंग में, एंड आई क्लियर्ड इट, एंड सो आई जॉइंड ओटीए सर.
ओके, मेरा तो भाई 12वीं के बाद ना, लवडेल के बाद मेरा एनडीए में आई फेल्ड इन द ब्लडी एंट्रेंस टेस्ट यार.
ओके सर.
एंड उसके बाद मैंने एनसीसी करी कॉलेज में, फिर बाद में मैं ओटीए गया. तब तक मैं माइंड मेक अप कर चुका था कि भाई 5 साल करूंगा फिर मैं बाहर आ जाऊंगा. So tell me about how was your academy days? तुम्हें restrictions मिले नहीं मिले? अगर नहीं मिले होंगे तो बड़ी shame on you यार.
सर मुझे restrictions,
हंस तो लो पहले, हंस तो लो मेरे भाई. मैंने कहा अगर restrictions
मुझे
तो shame on you.
मुझे मिले थे. मुझे मिले थे, पर इतने नहीं मिले थे कि मेरे घुटने और पैर खराब हो जाए. I was more focused on my physical tests and that I should clear them in the first go. तो मेरे almost all tests were cleared in the first go. मेरे सिर्फ toe touch रह गया था सर. So toe touch के लिए मुझे थोड़ी मेहनत एक्स्ट्रा करनी पड़ी थी, which eventually I got to do.
toe touch वो टेस्ट है एकेडमी में जो सबसे मुश्किल माना जाता है. एंड लेट मी टेल यू, मेजर समर इज नॉट द ओनली पर्सन. होल लॉट ऑफ पीपल वो toe touch की वजह से फेल हो जाते हैं. ठीक है, बहुत लोग
Yes.
खास तौर से बीपीटी दौड़ लेंगे, 9 फीट डिच कर लेंगे, मंकी रोप कर लेंगे, बमा ब्रिज कर लेंगे, रशियन ऑब्स्टिकल कर लेंगे,
सब कर लेंगे सब. आप 50 किलोमीटर भी भगा दो वो भी कर लेंगे, पर toe touch ऐसी टेक्निकल चीज होती है.
लेकिन toe touch होता क्या है? So luckily for me, मैं सिकंदराबाद में था एंड बिफोर जॉइनिंग द एकेडमी, सिकंदराबाद से आई न्यू कि toe touch सबसे मुश्किल टेस्ट होएगा. तो मैं दिन रात लगा रहा बिल्कुल toe touch के उल्टा घूम के आपको toe touch करने हैं बार पे. तो आई यूज्ड टू प्रैक्टिस इट सो ऑफन कि रात में सपने में भी toe touch नजर आ रहे हैं मेरे को. सपने में भी मैं इमेजिन कर रहा हूं.
अगर toe touch के लिए तो while lying in the bed कई बार तो मुझे एकदम से गिल्टी कॉन्शियस फील होता था कि यार नहीं, ये करना है जैसे तैसे, I have to clear it. तो I used to wear दो डीएम, वो ड्रिल बूट्स, वो भारी होते हैं ना, उसके नीचे नाल लगी रहती हैं सर. तो फिर उनके साथ मैं फिर बेड को ऐसे पीछे से पकड़ के देन आई यूज्ड टू डू दिस फ्लिप्स ऑफ माय लेग्स, ऐसे ना, यूं बिल्कुल पीछे फिर नीचे विदाउट टचिंग देम ऑन टू द बेड. ऐसे ऐसे 50 बार, 60 बार, 70 बार ऐसे करता था. सो दैट मेड माय कोर मोर स्ट्रांग. तो कोर जितनी स्ट्रांग होती रही, देन आई क्लियर्ड इट इन माय सेकंड अटेम्प्ट. पर वो सर जब तक क्लियर नहीं हुआ ना, वो एंजाइटी रहती थी यार, करना है, बिकॉज एनीथिंग पेंडिंग इन द अकेडमी, वो भी फिजिकल में, इज नॉट गुड, वो तो आपको करना ही है। सो फिजिकल्स में सर आई वाज गुड सर, 40 किलोमीटर्स का रन बैक में भी आई, फॉर्चुनेटली बोलो या अनफॉर्चुनेटली, आई लैंडेड अप विद 4 राइफल्स, 4 to 5 राइफल्स, और एक संजीत कुमार डे, अगेन माय कोर्समेट, उसके पास अलग से 4-5 राइफल्स, एंड वी वर लाइक सर द हेवी ड्यूटी गाइस, मतलब जितना लोड ला दोगे उतना हमारा स्मूथ रनिंग होगा। सो वी डिड दैट, आई मीन कमराडरी ऐसी बनी। कई बार तो ऐसे होता था कि व्हेन यू कुड मेक आउट कि हाँ ये बंदा अब भागना शुरू कर दिया है, उसे बुलाते थे ना, ब्रो कम बैक, जल्दी अपना राइफल ले जाओ, वो और गायब हो जाता था, उसकी स्पीड और बढ़ जाती थी। तो वी वर लाइक यार ये तो पंगा ही ले लिया यार हमने। और दोस आर गुड ओल्ड डेज सर, अच्छा अच्छे दिन याद आते हैं, you know, you pulling each other and not letting anybody sit in the ambulance तो खैर we used to make it a point कि दिखे ही ना हमें पीछे, and I mean we were physically good, we were the best in physicals in our senior term. Junior term also, we, our seniors are very good, so they also performed very well. So that physical में तो हमने legacy कंटिन्यू किया था, दैट वी एक्सेल्ड, बी इट मार्च एंड शूट, फायरिंग, ऑब्स्टिकल कोर्स, स्विमिंग, ड्रिल, स्पोर्ट्स, तो सब में अच्छा करते थे सर।
Right. So did you get commissioned in your father's battalion or अलग से आप कमीशन हुए, अलग
नहीं सर,
बदल में?
माय फादर वाज फ्रॉम एएससी, तो डैड ने बड़ा जोर लगाया कि यार आई विल गेट यू इनटू एएससी और ऑर्डिनेंस एंड ऑल। आई सेड डैड मेरे बस की नहीं है, आई कांट डू अ डेस्क जॉब, इट्स अ नाइटमेयर, मेरे से हो ही नहीं पाएगा। And moreover, sir, I was more of a sports person. I was in the cricket team of my school at APS Noida. I was in the squash team of APS Noida, and JKPS school. I was the sports captain in 12th and 11th. So I did well. तो स्पोर्ट्स मेरा ज्यादातर रहा था सर। आई केम थर्ड इन J&K स्टेट फॉर डिस्कस थ्रो, स्टेट लेवल आई वाज थर्ड सर, एंड स्कूल में जैवलिन में आई वाज अ सिल्वर मेडलिस्ट, जैवलिन थ्रो में, एंड शॉट पुट आल्सो सर, आई गॉट अ सिल्वर इन शॉट पुट आल्सो। तो आई वाज गुड इनफ सर इन एथलेटिक्स, एंड फुटबॉल में आई वाज द कैप्टन, एंड थिंग्स वर गुड सर, अच्छा अच्छा रहा, माय स्कूलिंग वाज गुड। एंड कॉलेज में आया तो देन अगेन आई वाज द स्पोर्ट्स रिप्रेजेंटेटिव इन द फर्स्ट ईयर, सेकंड ईयर आई वाज इलेक्टेड एज द जनरल सेक्रेटरी, and third year I was elected as the uncontested president of
All
BB
right.
of my faculty sir. So it was good, it was well organized, and the reason why an outsider winning in Gujarat in these elections at university level was because probably I was from an army background, and second most I was very honest and sincere, I was very transparent, and I never got involved in politics or in I mean I took spade as a spade, club as a club. I mean, what was in black and white, that is it. I never went to, for taking favors to my professors or to my dean, and they appreciated the atmosphere that time. And it was a good time. So college was good. It was smooth. अच्छा चला, did well in studies, and then I decided sir कि मैं GMAT लूंगा. So I took GMAT. I scored 580 in it. I got admission in Purdue University, not Purdue, NYIT, New York Institute of Technology in New York. वहाँ पे हुआ सर, Purdue का भी कॉल आया था, but Purdue was very expensive. And then New York Institute of Technology में जाना था, but simultaneously I cleared my OTA exam in the first attempt. So I gave it a thought कि पूरी उम्र तो मैं हॉस्टल में पढ़ूं पेरेंट्स से दूर, तो मैंने कहा अब अगर मैं बाहर चला गया तो मुझे जॉब भी करनी पड़ेगी उसके बाद, एंड फिर वापस पता नहीं कब आऊंगा, so when do I get to stay with my parents ever? So
Right.
I took a call and I told my dad that, dad, I think I'll join the army. So he said, yeah, you're going to lead a comfortable life, a good life, a competitive life, and कोई problem नहीं है, you learn a lot of money, and you go abroad, यार, you do your MBA. बट इवेंचुअली सर मैं आई डिसाइडेड कि नहीं, अब नहीं तो कब. So I told him, I said, nahi, I'll join the forces. So my mother was not much in favor because I'm the only child. So she was quiet about it. She wasn't in favor of me joining the forces. And however, my father said that, yeah, I'll not put you on under any pressure. If you feel like going in, then go for it. So I went in, sir, and acha raha, sir. It was good. It was a good experience. Good 11 years in the army, and
Right.
quite adventurous. Quite adventurous, sir.
But tell me one thing, your first posting after OT upon commissioning was at the glacier, Siachen Glacier. और ऐसी ऊंचाई पे जहाँ पे लोग कांप जाते हैं ना. आई नो द स्टोरी वे तुम्हारा जो एनआरएस आया था वो चंडीगढ़ आया था. सो यू थॉट अरे भाई
Yes, sir.
मजे आ गए यार, होम पोस्टिंग हो गई, अब मैं घर जाऊंगा, घर के करीब होऊंगा. तुम लोग कहाँ कहाँ जा रहे हो यार, भाई किधर किधर जा रहे हो, मैं तो चंडीगढ़ जा रहा हूँ. तो टेल मी वो, मैं चाहता हूँ आप हमारे दर्शकों को बताएं कि वो कहानी क्या है उसके बाद. एंड योर डैड अपेरेंटली न्यू तुम जाने वाले कहाँ पे हो हैं. एंड व्हेन जब तुम पहुंचे जो चंडीगढ़ मालूम पड़ा कि सियाचिन जा रहे हो, तो you told your commanding officer you want to switch to para SF. And वो कहानी
Sir.
चाहिए आपको.
सर मेरे अभी क्या हुआ था कि इन एकेडमी आई वाज इन द स्कॉश टीम, सो आई वेंट फॉर हेक्सागोनल्स टू प्ले एट आईएमए. तो ऐसे ना सर पॉइंट्स हमारे बढ़ जाते हैं ओवरऑल इन योर मेरिट लिस्ट में आपका नेम हाई हो जाता है. सो एंड आई वाज अ जीसी पार्ट ऑफ द स्कॉश टीम, तो ड्रिल से वैसी मुक्ति मिल जाती थी. तो ड्रिल उस्ताद यूज्ड टू लिटरली हंट फॉर मी दोपहर को जब मैं साइकिल पार होता था कि अच्छा स्पोर्ट्स वाले कहाँ हैं जो बचते रहते हैं. कहते तुम इधर आओ जीसी, जीसी समार इधर आओ. मैं कहा हाँ उस्ताद क्या कर दिया मैंने. कहते तुमने कुछ नहीं किया तभी पकड़ रहा हूँ तुम्हें, तुम दिख नहीं रहे हो ड्रिल में. मैं कहा उस्ताद वो ऑफिसर ने बोला है मुझे स्क्वॉश की प्रैक्टिस करनी है, टूर्नामेंट आ रहा है, आईएमए जाना है हेक्सागोनल के लिए. कहते तुम्हारा हेक्सागोनल हम बनाते हैं अभी, साइकिल उठाओ भागो पहले 10 मीटर वापस आओ, हेलीकॉप्टर बनो साइकिल के साथ ही है वो. अरे सर सो दे यूज्ड टू वेंट इट आउट कि जैसे तैसे मौका मिले तूर को रगड़ो, क्योंकि मैं मजे लेता था सर. क्योंकि स्क्वॉश को खेलने के बाद ना एक दो गेम था, आई टू कम आउट फॉर यू नो टेकिंग अ ब्रीदर. तो आई टू सी दिस उस्ताद एंड कीप स्माइलिंग एट देम. ये ड्रिल करा रहे होते थे, कहते ये बस हाथ लग जाए हमारे जैसे तैसे. So Tapan Ustad now retired. He's from Odisha, and so Tapan Ustad used to literally observe me. But I was a very calm kind of a cadet. I never used to be. I mean, I used to be lively and always smiling. एंड रगड़ा लगने के बाद मेरी स्माइल थोड़ी कम हो जाती थी, तो कह देते थे उस्ताद लोग ने कि अरे वो मुस्कुराहट भी ले आओ वापस, इतना भी मायूसी अच्छी नहीं होती हमारे जीसी के लिए. मैं कहा खुद तो रगड़ते और खुद ही बोल रहे हंस लो. ये क्या बात है.
अकेडमी के जो उस्ताद लोग है ना, पीटी उस्ताद, वेपन ट्रेनिंग उस्ताद, ठीक है अच्छी बात, बट ड्रिल उस्ताद वो लाल पट्टा, देखिए लाल पट्टा वाले भैया अभी भी याद है उनके डायलॉग की कहानियां. जैसे एक उठाऊंगा वहां पे गिरेगा, भाई क्या क्या बोलते थे उनके डायलॉग.
कहते थे
अलग ही है वो.
थंपिंग इतनी लाउड होनी चाहिए कि 2 कंट्री पार भूकंप आना चाहिए. उन्हें पता होना चाहिए इंडिया के जीसी ने थंपिंग की है. ऐसे होता था सर. एंड कहते जूते इतने चमकने चाहिए कि सूरज शर्मिंदा हो जाए, उसकी चमकाहट से ज्यादा तुम्हारे बूटों की चमकाहट होनी चाहिए. तो मैं चुप होता था. मैं कहा यार तुम्हें तो कई बार हंसी आ जाती थी. कहते थे तुम्हें मजाक लग रहा है, तुम 0 पॉइंट पे जाओ, रोलिंग मारो अब पूरा दिन.
My
तो
God.
ऐसे ही चलता
My
रहता
God.
था.
The most
बट इवेंचुअली
most
सर
painful thing,
you,
the most painful
you
is
build a bond
rolling
with them
at 0 point.
after you, sir.
0 पॉइंट पे जाके फ्रंट रोल काट रहे हो इन नंबर 1 ड्रेस जो अभी बना के लाए हो, उसपे बड़ी अच्छी बड़ी नंबर 1 ड्रेस कर रखी है, उसपे रोलिंग फ्रंट रोल, बड़ी क्रेजी है, क्रेजी.
बीच में सर ऐसा हो गया था, वन ऑफ द ड्रिल स्टार नेवर लाइक्ड माय फेस. उसे बड़ी एलर्जी थी, तो वो मुझे बीच में, बिकॉज ड्रिल सर कहाँ आती है सर, स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन वाला बंदा है वो, मैं ड्रिल में कहाँ करूँ. तो बोला ए नमूना इधर बाहर आओ, उधर 0 पॉइंट. अगले दिन से मैं परेड में शामिल ही नहीं होता था, सीधा 0 पॉइंट पे ही जाता था. तो वो कहता था ये जीसी का है. कहता उस्ताद वो सीधा ही 0 पॉइंट के है, उसने बोला मेरे प्रेजेंट यहाँ लगा देना. कहता अच्छा. तो उसे 0 पॉइंट पे सर हमें मजे आने लग गए, हमारी ग्रुप बन गई, और जितनी भी ग्रुप बनी वो हमारे स्पोर्ट्स वाले ही थे सारे. तो हम तो ड्रिल वालों के लिए तो डिफॉल्टर थे. तो वहां पे फिर एक उस्ताद रहता था, ड्रिल उस्ताद, वहां 0 पॉइंट पे, वो करता रहता था सर, हम सुस्ती वाली चाल में चलते रहते थे, करते रहते थे, रगड़ा लेते थे, बट प्रोबेबली दैट 0 पॉइंट ना, सुबह सुबह सर आपकी पीठ में बजरी एकदम धस रही है, आपके हाथों में बजरी फंस रही है, नाखूनों के बीच बजरी फंस रही है, आप फ्रंट रोल और बैक रोल और पुशअप्स और सिटअप्स और कैमल कैरी होता है ना सर, कैमल कैरी कर रहे हो, फायरमैन कैरी कर रहे हो, पिगी बैक वाला कैरी कर रहे हो, ओ करा करा के सर कैरी। हम तो पहले तो यही ढूंढते रहते, सबसे हल्का बंदा मिल जाए हमें, पता चलता था सब एक जैसे ही हैं, बराबर एक दूसरे के। तो ये था सर। कई बार समथिंग, जैसे कि कई बार बहुत ही हल्का कोई जीसी, मतलब माय कोर्समेट, कोई बहुत ही पतला मिल जाता था, तो आई टू कैरी हिम वंस। जब उसकी बारी आती तो पिक मी अप, आई टू से, चल यार तू मेरे ऊपर ही आ जा दोबारा। कहा तू दोबारा जाएगा? मैं कहा यार, मैं कहा तू मर जाएगा मुझे उठाएगा तो। कहते वो तो है, नाइस टू कैरी हिम अगेन। तो ऐसे कमराडरी बनती रहती थी सर की, इफ हियर आई एम helping him out, so he'll help me out in some other place at some other time, you never know। तो ऐसे बॉन्डिंग बन जाती थी सर। सो सर, एज यू सेड, एनआरएस चंडीगढ़ था, डी क्लासिफिकेशन हो गई थी, एंड आई स्टार्टेड टीजिंग माय कोर्समेट्स की, देखो जो तो जिन्होंने रगड़ा लिया है, जिन्होंने खूब हु हैव बीन टफन्ड, देखो हमें तो अच्छी पोस्टिंग्स आई हैं, तो जस्टिस हैज बीन सर्व्ड। और तुम लोग जाओ, कोई तेजपुर जा रहा है, कोई असम जा रहा है, कोई बीनागुड़ी जा रहा है, कोई साउथ में जा रहा है, तो मैं तो उन्हें सड़ा रहा था कि देखो तुम घर से इतने दूर दूर जाए गए हो, मैं तो चंडीगढ़ का ही हूँ, एनआरएस ही चंडीगढ़ है। तो दे ऑल वाज शट। कहते तेरी पलटन है कहा? मैंने कहा इसमें मेंशन्ड नहीं है, पर इस पे बताया है कि रिपोर्ट टू दिस पर्टिकुलर एरिया। कहते यार बड़ी खुफिया पलटन है तेरी। मैं मुझे खुद नहीं पता यार कहाँ है, पर जो भी है, एनआरएस चंडीगढ़ है तो चंडीगढ़ के आसपास ही होगी। बस सर मैं फिर डी क्लासिफिकेशन हुई, गए रेजिमेंटेशन के लिए, गए अपने सेंटर्स, फिर वहां पे वी वेंट टू चूरू, जहाँ पे हमारे ट्रूप्स रहते हैं राजपूत। तो वहां पे आई मेट राजपूत, अहीर मुसलमान ऑल्सो, जो भी थे वहां पे अपने भाई। एंड देन हरियाणा वाली साइड सर, यमुनानगर साइड, वी मेट आवर जाट कास्ट ट्रूप्स ऑल्सो, stayed there for a night at all these three places. So we got to know their way of living, culture, and how they are and everything. So we got acquainted with the troops, their mindset, how their sensitivity kaisi hai. So yes, sir, we became closer to reality that our troops are battle hardened because they are from humble backgrounds, from these villages. So during service, while in service they are soldiers, जब वो वापस छुट्टी आते, they are farmers, they come and help in tilling their land and farming and everything। बल्कि वो अपने घर आते थे तो ज्यादा पतले हो जाते थे, वापस फौज में आते थे तो वी टू लुक एट देम, दे टू बी वेरी फ्रेल। तो मैंने कहा ये क्या हो गया? कहते साहब टाइम ही नहीं मिलता था, क्योंकि यही टाइम था कि फसल जोत लो, या आप मतलब जो तूड़ी है, पट्टे है, वो सब इकट्ठे कर लो, और मतलब कैटल्स को डाल दो फीड and everything, and maintaining the house and everything, so they all used to manage all that। So that is where I got to know ki this is the core value and the people that we have to go to battle along with। तो ये clear हुआ सर। Eventually my father knew where I had to go, but he was, वो कहते हैं ना मजे ले रहे थे, तो मजे ले रहे थे। कह रहे थे भाई तू तो सही है यार, तेरा तो एनआरएस चंडीगढ़ आ गया ये वो। मैं कहा हाँ यार डैड, मैं कहा अब तो एवरी वीकेंड आई विल बी हियर यार, आप चिकन विकन वगैरह बना के रख दिया करना, मटन वगैरह, we'll chill out and have fun। Dad used to keep smiling, हाँ हाँ ठीक है and everything। And eventually जब रिपोर्ट करना पड़ा in that particular area, तो वहां पे रिसेप्शन में गया, कहते साहब आपका फ्लाइट कल है। मैं कहा फ्लाइट? कहते हाँ साहब, यहाँ से फ्लाइट जाता है आपके पलटन की लोकेशन के लिए। मैं कहा यार अच्छा, मैं कहा मुझे नहीं पता था। सो आई वेंट बैक टू द रिसेप्शन, मैं कहा डैड दिस थिंग यार फ्लाइट है यार। डैड सेड अच्छा, ओके, तो आई थिंक यू सियाचिन में होगी पलटन। तो मैंने कहा यार पता नहीं मुझे जगह का, कह रहे हैं कि फ्लाइट है, कोरियर है। तब कोरियर हमें पता नहीं था क्या था, हमें तो लगा वो पोस्टल वाला कोरियर होता है। लेटर में गॉट टू नो कोरियर इज IL-76 जो हमें लेके जाएगा। तो देन सर इवेंचुअली अगले दिन दे सेड साहब 2:30 बजे रिपोर्ट कर देना, मतलब द सेम डे की रात को, मतलब नेक्स्ट डे की अर्ली मॉर्निंग 2:30 यू रिपोर्ट। So my dad bid me bye bye. My mother had also come, so I bid them farewell and everything. ये लोग चले गए, मैं अपने रूम में आ गया एंड देन बस आई स्पेंड द नाइट। 2:30 बजे आई रीच द रिसेप्शन, वहां पे बस आई, वी वेंट टू द टारमैक। टारमैक में ठिठुरती हुई ठंड सर, हवा चले इतनी, एंड देयर इज नोबडी, अंधेरा, बस गार्ड्स ही गार्ड्स थे हर जगह, एंड स्निफर डॉग्स एंड टॉर्चेस ये सब चल रहे थे। मैंने कहा यार यहाँ पे तो कुछ ज्यादा ही टाइट सिक्योरिटी है, व्हाट इज दिस प्लेस, ये वो। खैर सर आफ्टर ऑल दैट, देन इन द मॉर्निंग अनाउंसमेंट हुई ड्यू टू बैड वेदर फ्लाइट हैज बीन कैंसिल्ड।
Oh God. Oh, painful, bro. Ah.
हाँ, एंड तब तक मैंने पता कर लिया था A to Z कि भाई पलटन कहाँ है, किधर है, क्यों है, किस लिए है, एंड आई वाज अवेयर ऑफ इट कि भाई ये तो पंगा ले ही लिया हमने आई थिंक। बट तब तक सर शॉपिंग वगैरह तो कर ली थी, एंड बस सर फिर मैं वापस आया, कॉल्ड अप डैड, डैड यार फ्लाइट कैंसिल हो गई। डैड अरे वेरी गुड वेरी गुड, एंड डैड केम पिक्ड मी अप, देन आई वेंट होम। फिर घर पे फिर खाना वाना खाया एंड चिल आउट किया, फिर सो गए क्योंकि अगले दिन वैसी फ्लाइट नहीं थी सर।
Uh,
दिस वाज ऑन अ सैटरडे मॉर्निंग, संडेज देयर इज नो फ्लाइट, so I got Saturday and Sunday to spend with parents, and then I went back on Monday morning। तो मंडे मंडे वाली में मेरा नाम नहीं था, मैंने ट्यूसडे वाली में मैंने बोला था ट्यूसडे वाली में डलवाना। तो रिसेप्शन पे दे नो कि अफसर नया है तो चलो ठीक है 2 दिन और दे दो, कोई बात नहीं टाइप्स की। आई वाज ऑलरेडी आई हैड रिपोर्टेड। तो सर देन ऑन ट्यूसडे देन आई वेंट, रिपोर्टेड देयर एंड एट अ पर्टिकुलर प्लेस, and the moment I got out of the plane I was in normal combat। तो when that gust of wind hit me na sir, that is the time I realized, मैं कहा बेटा you visited Leh when dad was posted there, visited all these places, excuse me, so this is not the same, this is something more extreme, because sir immediately my face went red, cheeks, and because dryness इतनी अचानक से हो गई, and I started feeling dehydrated। तो वहां पे वो द ट्रूप्स वर देयर, जेसीयू, तो वन जेसीयू केम एंड टोल्ड मी साहब पहन लो कुछ, पैक हो लोगे। मैं कहा पैक हो लोगे, बिकॉज आई वाज न्यू, आई डिडंट नो दीस टर्म्स। कहते पैक हो लोगे मतलब जम जाओगे, जुकाम वगैरह लग गया, कहते यहाँ पे हैपो हैको ऐसे हो जाता है, पता नहीं चलेगा क्या हो गया आपको। देन सर आई
तो
इमीडिएटली
हैपो की
ओपन।
बात कर रहे हैं, हैपो ही मींस हाइपोथर्मिया, जो कि अक्सर ऊंचाइयों पे होता है। यस, यू कैन
Sir,
टेल
at a
मी
high
ऑडियंस
altitude, pulmonary edema. So basically, your lungs collapse; they get filled with water. And HAPO is pulmonary. HACO is a high altitude cerebral edema, swelling in the brain. Sir, उसमें water content बढ़ जाता है. So these are two aspects which are beyond human control. I mean, it's not in your control. Sir. ये जिसको होना है वो हो ही जाएगा. You can't avoid it. तो वो ये सर कि ये सारी चीजें हुई, एंड इवेंचुअली आई वेंट, एंड इट वाज अ वेरी चैलेंजिंग प्लेस, एंड डाइनिंग इन हुई, दारू ज्यादा पी ली, सीईओ को बोल दिया भाई चैलेंज करता हूँ, मुझे टफ पोस्ट भेजो। ही सेंट मी, एंड आई वाज लाइक अच्छा यार ये तो वाकई दिल पे ले लिया टाइप। एंड बीइंग फ्रॉम द इन्फेंट्री सर, यू नो सर इन्फेंट्री में ना, आई वांट टू टेल दिस टू द यूथ दैट यू हैव टू प्रूव योर वर्थ। मतलब इन्फेंट्री इज अ प्लेस वेयर आप अगर कमीशन ऑफिसर जाओगे तो कोई ऐसे फालतू में सल्यूट नहीं मारेगा, यू हैव टू बी वर्दी ऑफ दैट सल्यूट। सो ट्रूप्स टेंड टू टेस्ट यू, पुश यू, टॉन्ट यू, जस्ट टू टेस्ट यू कि इज हैज दिस गाय गॉट दैट ग्रिट एंड दैट मेटल इन हिम, या ऐसे ही ठंडा टाइप है। दैट इज हाउ दे टेस्ट। एंड सर फॉर्चुनेटली मेरी पल्टन का फॉर्म लाइक कॉम्पोजिशन वाज लाइक उसमें राजपूत भी थे, जाट भी थे, प्योर मुस्लिम भी थे. As a result, sir, I mean, all were martial comms. All three were Western related, Western aligned states से इन्होंने लड़ाइयाँ देखी थी. And me being a Khalsa, I was given the Muslim company, Charlie company. And sir, बंदे बड़े कट्टर, तकड़े तकड़े. And I had to keep abreast and I had to be at pace with them. But I had age and वो जोश होता है ना सर, that mental जोश is there. एकेडमी वाला फ्रेश. तो हम आई कैरिड. मेरा बैग तो पोर्टर ने ले लिया व्हेन आई वाज एट द बेस. रात को जब मुझे चलना था, देयर वाज अ आर्टिलरी का एक लड़का था, आई रिमेम्बर हिज नेम, अक्षय कुमार, बिकॉज वो एक्टर का नेम भी है. सी सेड, साहब मेरे छाती में ना हल्का सा दर्द सब महसूस हो रहा है. एंड एज अ यंग लेफ्टिनेंट आई एम लाइक, कोई दर्द वर्द नहीं होता. मैं कहा, लाओ अपना अपना पिट्ठू मुझे दो. मैंने सर जैसे पिट्ठू डाला, मेरी जीभ बाहर आ गई. मैंने कहा, भाई इससे कितने महीनों का राशन डाला है इसमें. बट आई केप्ट क्वाइट. आई शुड, इट्स ओके टाइप, कि चलो कोई नहीं. एंड देन वी स्टार्टेड द वॉक सर, एंड ट्रस्ट मी इट वाज सो डिफिकल्ट. मतलब बीच बीच में तो मुझे ही लग रहा था कि मैंने पंगा ले लिया, मैं खुद का ही बैग उठा लेता तो अच्छा रहता. एंड एंड बंदे मजे ले रहे हैं, और साहब ठीक हो, मजा आ रहा है, अच्छा साहब, अरे गुड गुड साहब, गुड जोश साहब, बढ़िया साहब. अगेन थोड़ी देर बाद, अरे साहब थोड़े धीरे हो रहे हो, अरे ऐसे नहीं चलेगा काम, ऐसे तो बहुत देर लग जाएगी, चलो चलो मीटर खींचो. तो जैसे कि पोकिंग नहीं है ऐसे ना, तो मैं फिर और मीटर मेरा चढ़ जाता था. तो आई यूज्ड टू कीप गोइंग गोइंग गोइंग. मैं एट वन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आई रीच सबसे आगे. देन आई लुक डाउन. फिर मैं चिल्लाने लग गया. मैं कहा, जल्दी करो, क्या हो गया, घुटनों में पानी भर गया. एंड ऑल दैट आई स्टार्टेड टॉन्टिंग देम. देन दे रियलाइज कि नहीं, सांप को ज्यादा उंगली कर दी है, इसलिए अब सांप उंगली कर रहा है वापस. सो एज अ लेफ्टिनेंट ये था सर, आई वेंट and climbed the places safely. But there we lost 11 men, sir, due to an avalanche, uh, due to a landslide, basically, sir. So 11, one JCU and 10 other ranks were martyred over there. So the terrain was very risky. It was not safe. Even when we used to walk at times, we were told not to talk because of the echo. The stones might come down. So it is that sensitive area, sir. And the path where we used to walk, the river used to be frozen, sir. जो मैंने आपको फोटो भेजी. So there's a ice से frozen river, तो उसी पे we used to walk throughout. And temperature, those times used to be in -15, -20. At night, I have seen temperatures plummet down to -45. And hot water bottles, sir, वो पैरों में लगाते थे. Not used to last more than half an hour. So as a result, it was a very challenging place. मेरी कट ऑफ पोस्ट थी सर. I stayed there for 4 months and 23 days. उसमें one of my again now retired. Now अभी जब मैं on ventilator था, तो again he had come to meet me, नायको फ्रांस. So this boy had ulcers and he was vomiting blood. तो उसके ड्रिप भी लगा रहे थे, तो ड्रिप used to freeze due to the minus temperature. So things were very critical, sir. We were not able to evacuate him initially, and every hour was quite tense, and we were on the edge कि we might just lose him. And वहाँ पे सर tinned food होता है. It's preserved, preservatives होते हैं. So it doesn't suit everybody, and it is not
Right.
advisable कि वो खाओ आप every day. So I usually used to have baked beans. कई बार कुछ spinach का होता था, चीकू का होता था, लेंटिल्स का हो जाता था सर. एंड नॉन-वेज वहाँ था नहीं सर, मना था, बिकॉज़ ड्यू टू लैक ऑफ ऑक्सीजन यू डोंट फील हंग्री. सेकंडली सर, यू कांट कंज्यूम नॉन-वेज क्योंकि वो हज़म हज़म ही नहीं होएगा. सो दैट वाज़ द सिचुएशन ओवर देयर. एंड मेटल बाइटिंग थी सर. वी आई कुड नॉट टच एनीथिंग ऑफ मेटल. स्किन यूज्ड टू कम ऑफ. शेविंग मना थी. वो स्नो ब्लाइंडनेस थी. दिन में थोड़ी देर के लिए भी जाते थे विदाउट गॉगल्स, तो द विजन यूज्ड टू बी लाइक एज इफ यू लुक्ड एट द सन विद योर नेकेड आईज, एंड आपने ऐसे साइड कर लिया तो आंख के आगे वो अलग से सन के वो स्पॉटिंग ही दिखाई देती रहती थी. तो दैट इज व्हाट स्नो ब्लाइंडनेस डज टू यू एंड योर आईज. तो वो होता था सर, उससे ध्यान रखना पड़ता था। यहाँ पे बंदों की सनबर्न हो गया था ये दोनों जगहों पे, इट बिकेम परमानेंटली ब्लैक हो गए थे किल बंदों के। एंड मेटल की कोई चीज वैसे मैंने बताया, बी इट वेपन, डोर हैंडल, कुकिंग यूटेंसिल्स, वी कुड नॉट टच विद आवर नेकेड फिंगर्स और एनीथिंग सर, मास्क निकल जाता था हमारा। सो इट वाज अ फाइट अगेंस्ट नेचर, इट वाज वेरी डिफिकल्ट। एंड बहुत ही छोटा दायरा था सर, इट वाज लाइक आई वुड से 30 बाय 30 फीट का पूरा एरिया। And all sides were steep down. One side was the Pakistan side, वो ग्लेशियर टाइप वहां पे जगह थी, एंड बाकी साइड was steep cliffs. So it was quite a risky terrain, sir. I mean, we couldn't get adventurous. नींद नहीं आती थी, तो रात रात को उठे रहना, फिर दिन में सर एक्सरसाइज करने के लिए 10 कदम भी चलते थे, सांस फूल जाती थी। So eventually we started doing push-ups, sit-ups and dips वहीं पे ही, स्टैटिकली उधर ही, पोस्ट के वहीं पे। And we did not have any contact in terms of TV world में क्या चल रहा है, we were not aware. We were just communicating and we were busy with our weapon training and our tactical aids और ये सब पढ़ते रहते थे and everything train करते रहते थे. So basically we were preparing for warfare and any ambushes and all that on ground. So practical knowledge ज़्यादा मैंने वहाँ पे obtain की सर about mountain warfare and survival कैसे करना है। एंड पानी भी पीना होता था तो सर बर्फ को पिघला के करते थे। तो वो देगड़े नहीं होते सर, वो जो तेल के पीपे होते हैं,
हाँ 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 हाँ।
तो उनको खोल के सर वी यूज्ड टू पुट देम आउट ऑन टू द रूफटॉप ऑफ आवर पोस्ट। तो जब स्नोफॉल होती तो वो भरते रहते थे सर ऊपर से। तो ऊपर भरने के बाद सर देन वी यूज्ड टू पुट देम ऑन टू द केरो हीटर। उसके अंदर वी यूज्ड टू मेल्ट एंड बिकम वाटर, फिर उसे हम पतीले में डालते थे। आफ्टर रिंसिंग देम थ्रू हैंकरचिफ एंड कॉटन और फिर एक पट्टी, वो गॉस करके सर मल्टीपल लेयर्स के वी यूज्ड टू फिल्टर इट, then we used to put water purifying pills and then boil the water, then we used to consume. It was a very tedious process, but that was the only source of water there sir. And इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के लिए सर वहां पे वी हैव these सोलर lanterns वगैरह तो अब आ गए हैं।
That's so interesting. It's like wow, one can visualize all that. Like metal bite, one could imagine metal bite. हथियार को छूके ही जरा हाथ में खाल उधर जाएगी बिल्कुल. Yes, yes, go ahead.
हाँ सर, आई मीन दीज आर थिंग्स वेरी न्यू टू मी। मैंने कभी बर्फ देखी नहीं थी, एंड यहाँ पे किलोमीटर्स किलोमीटर्स तक देयर वाज नो वेजिटेशन, देयर वाज नो ह्यूमन लाइफ। मतलब मैं बंदों को कहता था कि यार यहाँ पे एक मक्खी भी मिल जाए ना, या एक चिड़िया भी दिख जाए तो ऐसे लगेगा हाँ यार हम अकेले नहीं, हमारे साथ कोई है। बट देयर वाज नो साइन ऑफ लाइफ सर, कुछ भी नहीं था। मतलब कहते हैं ना स्नो लेपर्ड, आइबेक्स डियर, नथिंग। At that altitude of 19,800 feet, I have rounded off to 20,000 feet in the air, above the clouds. मतलब जब वेदर रिपोर्ट होती थी तो पूछते थे वहां मौसम क्या था, मैं कहा सन इज शाइनिंग ब्राइट, ऑल इज वेल, इट्स ऑल क्वाइट। विंडी होता था, ब्लिजर्ड्स आते थे, स्टॉर्म्स आती थी वहां पे सर, स्नो स्टॉर्म्स वगैरह। बट अदरवाइज ऊपर इट यूज टू बी ड्यूरिंग समर्स तो बहुत ही ब्राइट सन होता था, फिर बीच में हमें क्लाउड्स दिखाई देते थे, एंड फिर क्लाउड्स के नीचे वी कुडंट सी एनीथिंग, वी वर अबव द क्लाउड्स। तो एट 20,000 फीट सर आई थिंक माउंट एवरेस्ट इज एट 28,000 फीट सर। तो आप वही है सर, आप एस्टिमेट लगा लो, वी वर जस्ट 8,000 फीट शॉर्टर, लेसर देन माउंट एवरेस्ट की हाइट। सो वी वर एट प्रोबेबली बेस कैंप 2 ऑफ द माउंट एवरेस्ट। तो उस हाइट पे वी वर देयर सर, एंड वी सर्वाइवल था सर। सैनिटेशन हाइजीन पे ज्यादा ध्यान रखते थे कि कोई बीमारी ना हो जाए, कोई अल्सर अल्सर तो खैर हो ही गए थे सर। इवेंचुअली वी इवैक्यूएटेड हिम, हेलीकॉप्टर केम, फिर उसके बेली में हमने वो नेट लगाया, उसमें बंदा बिठाया, एंड देन ही वाज टेकन डाउन टू द बेस।
कहाँ पे नेट लगाया?
सर बेली ऑफ द हेप्टर में नेट लगा हुआ था, बिकॉज देयर वाज नो हेलीपैड एट दैट पर्टिकुलर प्लेस. वो एक सैडल था, तो वहां से winds were very high also, which used to
Right.
cross over. So it was a very dicey place for a helicopter actually. And it was I mean, very critical and a very difficult post. And वहाँ पे एक दो अफसर रहे थे, they were shifted to other posts. So यहाँ पे eventually सर मैंने बोला था भेजो, तो वो ज्यादा दारू ओल्ड मॉन्क का साइड इफेक्ट ज्यादा ही हो गया. So I was there for 4 months, 23 days. Touchwood, no casualties. Bonded well with my troops. I learned a lot about Islam and about the Muslim way of life and how they see life and how they pray to Allah. And I mean, it gave me my horizon of thought even broadened even further. And I went beyond that cliche कि हाँ इससे ज़्यादा मुझे पता नहीं and all that. I went much in depth. It opened up my eyes, my mind, the horizon of thought. My reasoning became better, and uh, they were so religious that they prayed 5 times a day, sir. And it was so disciplined that I really felt good that yes, the discipline brings in seriousness. It brings in a clarity of thought. It brings in a clarity to achieve a particular objective. It keeps you motivated, and that belief and faith keeps you going. Ki, yes, God is there, Allah is there. He's going to look after you, and He's there. So I learned a lot, a great deal from them. And being a Sikh myself, sir, I mean, I never knew this side of Islam and the troops that I had. So it was a good learning experience, and the tough chaps and well built, 6 foot ke, 6 feet, 6 feet 2 inches, broad build, 80, 90 kgs, definitely overweight, but they were massive. I mean, एक बंदा मतलब अपने से दो दो तीन तीन गुना ज्यादा वेट लेके चल सकता था. So that was the plus point with the troops that I had there, and they were good. So
Right.
sir, that was the best part, sir. Ki Siachen helped me master the art of being patient. I mean, the patience level multifolded. Focus became even better. ठीक है sir. Anxiety levels dropped and overthinking stopped. There was this very serene and calm in my mind and soul there. I mellowed down because, sir, when a human is in isolation at a very primitive kind of facilities around him, he learns to accept what is reality. What he has is what it is. So, acceptance was the biggest virtue that I learned, that by accept what you have, value what you have, and out of that value, then you build your belief and hope in God that no, we will overcome, we will not succumb to the mental pressure and psychological pressure of being restricted to 30 by 30 feet wala area. And
Right.
any movement was like paradise for us because when we looked at the terrain around, sir, it was so treacherous, it was so, and such inclement weather that हमें यही जन्नत लगता था कि यार वी आर सर्वाइविंग, वही बहुत बड़ी बात है. And a young guy like me, मैं तो फिर भी चढ़ गया था सर. And when I climbed and I reached the post, I vomited almost 1.5 liter of water.
Oh God.
So probably that water was accumulated in my lungs and probably in my stomach because वो सर कंडेंसेशन इफेक्ट नहीं होता सर. आउटसाइड टेम्परेचर इज डिफरेंट एंड इनसाइड टेम्परेचर, सो द वाटर ड्रॉपलेट्स फॉर्मेशन. तो वैसे पानी इकट्ठा होता रहा था. सो व्हेन आई रिमूव्ड माय बालक्लावा, आईस ऑल ओवर माय आईब्रोज, आई लैशेस. मेरे बालक्लावा के यहाँ पे, जहाँ पे मूछें हैं, यहाँ पे पूरा बर्फ ऐसे
Just explain to
आइस
our viewers
फ्लेक्स.
what. Just explain to our viewers when you removed your.
When I remove my balaclava, the upper headgear, which covers our face layer and our forehead, just the eye part is exposed. उसमें भी goggles पहनते हैं. So I could see the outline of my face जहाँ पे breath was going in and out. सर यहाँ पे पूरा ice flakes form हो गए थे पूरा. यहाँ पे पूरे beard वाले जगह पे, यहाँ पे my mustache वाली side पे, nose वाली यहाँ पे, ठीक है सर, and यहाँ onto the sides, eyelashes, eyebrows, and I mean minus में we were moving in minus temperature. एंड फिर इमीडिएटली फिर पैर भी चेक किए तो पैरों में भी सर थोड़ा बहुत तो आ ही गया था पानी, बिकॉज आइस कुछ तो आ ही जाता है. So we had to be careful, but some things are beyond our control, sir. ऐसे frostbite is not by choice, it is by chance. एंड हमने गेटर्स तो पहने थे पैरों में, फिर भी कुछ एक आध ड्रॉपलेट्स जो बॉडी टेम्परेचर को मीट करके ड्रॉपलेट्स बन के आ जाते हैं पैरों में, दे सीप इनटू द शूज. So fortunately, I had purchased these waterproof socks from Gopinath Bazaar. From so वहाँ पे I had this good, मतलब मैंने I was mentally ready कि because I was like कि आर्मी में जा रहे हैं तो चलो we'll have some ये वाली चीजें चाहिए होंगी. तो मैंने वैसी coincidentally मैंने खरीद ली थी ये waterproof socks 2 pair. So जिस दिन जाना था ऊपर तो उस दिन बोला था कि साहब आपके पास सॉक्स आप इशू वाली पहन लो. एंड इशू सॉक्स आर वेरी गुड. देयर इज अ कंपनी कॉल्ड स्मार्ट वूल, इट्स अ अमेरिकन कंपनी. एंड सो द अमाउंट ऑफ वार्मथ these socks provided was amazing. Irrespective of minus temperature, आप वो सॉक्स पहन लो ना. स्मार्ट वूल इज द कंपनी. वेरी एक्सपेंसिव. आई मीन हमें तो वैसे ही गवर्नमेंट से मिली थी. इट वाज अ इशू आइटम. बट आफ्टर 4-5 years when I googled it, I was aghast. I mean कितने डॉलर्स की थी वो one particular pair. So I still have 7-8 pairs of them with me still. So in winters, it's like paradise to me. My wife also wears the other pairs, and my son. So they're like totally warm and secure in the winters. तो पंजाब में तो सर आपको पता ही है, the winters are quite extreme. तो बढ़िया रहा सर. So overall Siachen was a very learning experience. एंड ऊपर ये एनिमी की सैटेलाइट्स वगैरह घूमती रहती थी सर ऑब्जर्वेशन के लिए. सो आई नेवर न्यू दिस एस्पेक्ट. सो आई लर्नड अच्छा टू ऑब्जर्व दिस. फिर काराकोरम रेंज बना रहे थे ये सीपेक का. वहां पे ब्लास्टिंग चलती थी रोज. उसको हम नोट करते रहते थे कि कितनी ब्लास्टिंग हुई है आज पर डे. दे पुटिंग अ हाईवे अक्रॉस वो पूरा सर along that ridge हमारा वाला. So it was illegal, we knew, but we were reporting it. Delhi is aware of it. And देखो sir, eventually in coming times, I I wish to see that area to be ours. It is our area only. We need to get it back. And
You're very lucky you got to go where people जब मिलियन अरबों रुपए खर्च करके भी वो वहां पे सपने में भी नहीं पहुंच पाएंगे. You stayed
नहीं
there.
पहुंच
You
पाएंगे
just
sir.
because
I
what
mean,
people going to go there.
I think sir, I was just lucky, destined. Otherwise, I doubt where all I have been at those peaks. I doubt if anybody has ever been, sir. I mean, मुश्किल है. And very treacherous terrain, sir. मैं मेरी photograph है with Mount K2 in the background. It's a massive rock face. It's a one particular singular rock से बनी हुई mountain, sir, massive. And पूरा rock face is facing our side. तो मैंने background में Mount K2 के साथ भी मेरी photos थी. So I mean, it was quite an experience, quite an experience. So from there, sir, फिर we came down. उसके बाद सर I told you थोड़ा सा
उसके बाद then you went to फिर आप अब सुदान कब गए? साउथ सुदान on UN mission. उसी के बाद गए थे.
Sir, after this, after our successful tenure, we got a citation here, unit citation. Chief citation मिली थी हमें. And then we came down and then sir we were at a place, a village called Turtuk, which we took in 71.
Turtuk
So that
sector,
is the
yeah, yeah,
last.
yeah.
Sir. So Turtuk village was there. The reason why I'm trying to tell it is it's internationalized. It's now officially our. It's with us. It's our area. Eventually, beyond that is also ours. So I just hope that हमारे जीते जी we get our own land back. सो ये है सर अब तो टूरिस्ट आने लग गए हैं सर वहाँ पे दबा के टूरिस्ट आ रहे हैं फ्रॉम ऑल इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटीज एंड एवरीवेयर तो भरे पड़े हैं सर सियाचिन में ऑल दी ट्रैकर्स एंड ऑल आर फिल्ड नाउ विद दीज टूरिस्ट पहले तो परमिशंस लेनी पड़ती थी परमिशंस भी बंद कर दी बिकॉज आफ्टर दिस 370 आर्टिकल गॉन एंड एवरीथिंग so it's become like a open for all. So many tourists come, foreign tourists, and they do camping over there. वहाँ पे double hump camels हैं. So that was one old route.
नुब्रा, वो नुब्रा की तरफ कोई ज्यादा पाए
Yes sir,
जाते हैं,
yes sir,
वही वही
yes sir. Nubra डिस्केट हुंडर वाली साइड तो वहाँ पे वो डबल हम कैमल्स का हो गया है एंड इट्स बिकम वेरी कमर्शियलाइज्ड बहुत सारे होटल्स हैव कम अप दीज ये टेंट वाले जो होते हैं टेंट वेकेशन हाउसेस हैव कम अप and camping sites have come up and I mean people from all over India are coming फिर कोई साउथ से ज्यादा आ रहे हैं तमिलनाडु चेन्नई बैंगलोर एंड इंटरनेशनल ये स्वीडन ऑस्ट्रेलिया नॉर्वे यूरोपियन कंट्रीज से ज्यादा आते हैं इसराइलीज ज्यादा आ रहे हैं एंड दे विजिटिंग these places and all तो अच्छा लगता है सर it's you could say sir it's an asset it's a beauty in the lap of the beautiful nature there and it's such a charm to be there sir it's just amazing I mean crystal clear water of the Shiok river at few patches where you can actually see the stones in the riverbed and that would be around 3-4 meters deep और आपको दिखेंगे पत्थर की वो रहे there are fish in that trout is there sir trout fish is there so I mean it's just amazing and beautiful sir slowly you come down to Diskit Hundar there's a monastery there there's a big statue of Gautam Buddha there and I think they are going to start with these flights also now there'll be flights also now going there so ठीक है sir it's going to eventually become a tourist it is a tourist destination and अच्छा रहेगा and things have become very normal now sir just like any other public tourist spot but sir ये
Right.
got a lot to learn from that place and एक इंसिडेंट हुआ था while coming down डी इंडक्शन के टाइम मैंने कैजुअली 2-3 मिनट के लिए अपना राइट हैंड के ग्लव निकाल लिए थे
Oh
एज अ
God.
रिजल्ट सर एज अ रिजल्ट आई रियलाइज जो स्वेट ग्लैंड्स होते हैं ना सर हमारी स्किन में
हाँ.
the water forms inside the skin which then comes out in the form of perspiration now
Right.
if the ice and the cold weather comes in contact with that sweat ka droplet it goes and connects inside of your vessels and your blood and eventually it results in a uh, frostbite तो मुझे पता नहीं था सर so I just removed my glove to have tea वो अगर मैं चाय पीने लगा वो 2-3 मिनट 5 मिनट हो गए आई पुट इट डाउन तब तक सर यहाँ पे आई थिंक वहां पे इधर इफेक्ट हो गया सर मेरे फिंगर पे यहाँ पे इसका थोड़ा डिस्कलर्ड है सर ये वाली साइड तो यहाँ पे मैंने
Right.
केम
Right.
डाउन तो यहाँ पे मैंने केम डाउन टू द बेस तो यहाँ पे ना सर वो थोड़ा वो टस टस नहीं होता पेल्पिटेशन टाइप ऐसे तो ये यहाँ पे हो रहा था तो पहले दिन हुआ आई तो ठीक है हो जाएगा सेकेंड डे आई सॉ मैंने कहा अरे ये कुछ सिस्ट हो गया होगा तो इसे पंचर कर देंगे 1 या 2 दिन में बाल तोड़ टाइप तो इससे पस निकल जाए ठीक हो जाएगा थर्ड डे इट बिकेम अनबेरेबल and the color started changing of my nail then I went to my toys he said bloody bugger since how many days has this happened I said 2 दिन हो गए हैं today is the third day sir it's morning right now I'm uneasy with this he said go to the RMO immediately then I went and वहां पे RMO ने चेक किया एंड ही सेड यार इसका तो अभी लोकल एनेस्थीसिया देके ओपन सर्जरी करनी पड़ेगी। तो मैंने कहा सर कोई कैटेगरी वाली बात तो नहीं, बिकॉज द बिगेस्ट नाइटमेयर फॉर अ यंग ऑफिसर इज कि वो मेडिकली डाउनग्रेड ही हो जाए एज अ न्यू कमर। तो आई वाज ड्रेडिंग कि ऐसा कुछ ना हो जाए। तो ही सेड नहीं, लेट मी हैव अ लुक। देन ही सॉ सर, फिर उसने यहाँ पे इंजेक्शंस दिए, इधर यहाँ बीच में, यहाँ पे दोनों फिंगर्स के बीच में, इधर बीच में दिए, यहाँ पे दिए। एंड इवेंचुअली देन ही मेड अ वेरी प्रिसाइज यहाँ पे कट। तो मोमेंट ही स्लिट दिस एरिया ओपन, वो सर पूरी पस ना इट जस्ट केम आउट सर, इट जस्ट बर्स्ट आउट पूरी। सो इवेंचुअली माय फिंगर वाज जस्ट सेव्ड इन द निक ऑफ टाइम। एंड देन ही आस्क्ड कि यार तू इतना टाइम रहा, तेरे सारे बंदे नीचे आ गए, नए बंदे भी चढ़ा लिए, यू वर द लास्ट वन टू कम डाउन। कहते देख ले हाथी की पूंछ रह गई एंड कटते कटते रह गई। तो आई सेड सर आई एम वेरी सॉरी, बट ये मैंने थोड़ी देर के लिए ग्लव उतारे थे वाइल कमिंग डाउन डी इंडक्शन के टाइम। ही सेड बस तभी कांड हो गया। एंड वहां पे पोस्ट पे था विच वाज मोर डेंजरस, देयर नथिंग हैपेंड टू यू। सो दैट इज व्हाट सर, कि द मोमेंट यू फील ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट, द मोमेंट यू फील हाँ यार कुछ नहीं होगा, दैट इज द एग्जैक्ट टाइम वेयर सब कुछ होगा एंड वेयर एवरीथिंग विल गो रॉन्ग, बिकॉज यू ऑलरेडी पुट योर गार्ड डाउन बाय थिंकिंग अरे कुछ नहीं होगा। तो इवेंचुअली सर बच गई उंगली। फिर आई वाज एडवाइज्ड कि भाई तुम छुट्टी जाओ 1 महीना, रिकवर एंड बी इन दैट थोड़ा वार्म टेम्परेचर, उंगली ठीक हो जाएगी। सर ऑल वेंट वेल सर, ठीक हो गया। देन आई केम बैक एंड वापस आने पे देन अगेन आई वाज सेंट टू, देन आई वाज सेंट टू अ डिफरेंट पोस्ट। सो देयर थिंग्स वर स्मूथ, कोई प्रॉब्लम भी नहीं है। उसके
UN
बाद
कब
सर
गए?
सर यूएन वी वेंट इन 2013।
And this was the glacier was,
से अगेन सर।
and the story of glacier was which year?
सर 2011 एंड 2012।
Okay, all right. So let's hear about your UN story. जब
तो यूएन
गए वहाँ पे?
यूएन सर वी वर नॉमिनेटेड। अब सर सीआईचिन में आई पुट अप माय पेपर्स आफ्टर कमिंग डाउन फ्रॉम द पोस्ट, आई वांट टू जॉइन पैरा एसएफ। So now my CO, same CO that time is now a brigadier serving. I'll not take his name. So he's Sena medal. So उन्होंने he saw the file, he closed the file. He said, "भाई, Toor, you are now behaving like a coward. You want to run away from your responsibility." I said, "Sir, you should take pride if I clear the probation and I get into paras कि हमारी पलटन का एक officer है. He is now a paratrooper in SF." तो मैंने कहा, "Sir, you should encourage me. You are demotivating me." He said, our Pulton has been barred from getting any new officer for the coming 3 years because we are nominated for UN and you were the last officer to get commissioned, the junior most in my Pulton. So he said, at this agent service, क्या घातक मैं संभालूंगा क्या? As a CEO, you want me to take care of घातक? Or you want मतलब senior major to take care of Ghatak or a senior captain who's of already 3 years of service? You want them also to be part of Ghatak? Or you are a fresh lieutenant, you will be with the Ghatak as a youngster to train them and motivate them. He said, I can't lose an officer here. I can't afford. I don't have officers in my Pulton. And you are the only lieutenant. बाकी सब तुमसे 2-2, 3-3 साल सीनियर ही हैं, तो मेरे पास कोई जूनियर आया ही नहीं। And then, sir, then he called up my dad. He said, sir, ये तो कह रहा है कि UN mission, he is not interested to go. He wants to join SF. Then my father called me up. Then he persuaded me. He bullshitted me also. He Samar, things don't work like this. Only the best are chosen to go abroad for these missions because you are the ambassadors of your country. You're the representatives. And it's a very big responsibility entrusted upon you. So kindly live up to the expectation, and you are going to remain with the infantry Pelton. It's not the end of days. You come back and then you can apply and join. So I was like quite Like I wasn't convinced for initial half an hour. Then sir वो dad ने अच्छी खासी वो फौजी वाली भाषा use की कि don't you get it this that and we're not asking you, we're telling you. Or you want me to tell your CEO, he will tell you in a better manner because he's there with you.
I've heard your
मैं
dad's deadly voice on the phone in the background.
he's quite strict. So eventually, sir, then I gave in. I said, okay, fine. I'll go for the UN mission. But when I come back, then I'll put up my papers to join SF. He said, that's entirely your call. But Filal,
अरे
you are
मैं
going with the Falcon.
मैं on the other end मैं डर गया था यार when he was speaking to you मैं गया यार मैं खड़ा हो गया सावधान में हो गया
He is strict, sir. वो सर पंजाबी आपको पता ही है सर. लंबे चौड़े जट हैं and the voice is heavy. And I'm not in a condition to say anything because I'm अभी तो I'm recovering sir. अभी I'm gathering energy. तो मैं शांत
मैं
रहता
तुम्हारा
हूँ.
बहुत टाइम मिलिए we'll close them soon after your share it's been an hour I know you're not well you need to rest हाँ
नहीं
फिर
सर,
फिर
I'm good to go सर. ऐसे नहीं है. I mean he gets perturbed कि रात ज्यादा खिंच गई and out of the schedule कैसे हो गया. During day तो not an issue. तो ये है सर. तो मैं घर पे ही रहता हूँ सर ज्यादातर. I'm recuperating तो वो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. So 2013 it was. I done with my commandos. Bio course was yet to be done. Time was less, so I couldn't do it. And eventually, sir, on 10th of April 2013, our first flight to Sudan was to go. एक जगह पे my troops are lined up, and from the luggage bay, I was assigned to collect the mortal remains of Lieutenant Colonel Mahipal and four other ranks of 6 Mahar. Mahipal sir was from mechanized forces, mechanized infantry, and eventually reality struck me, sir. It wasn't easy to. I mean, that changed our mindset. कि भाई हम जहाँ UN mission जा रहे हैं, it is not a normal mission. It is like going into the jaws of death. I mean, बंदों का that very uncomfortable silence crept in when they were lined up to go abroad at the airport. They were witnessing all this unfold, and that nervousness and anxiety नहीं होती सर before going into an operation कि तुम कोई फालतू बोलता नहीं है चुप ही रहते हैं. It is just your eyes that communicate, and we know the odds that we might not come back. It was that kind of a atmosphere. I mean, there was no bullshitting around anymore कि अच्छा वहाँ पे तनख्वाह भी अच्छी है, उधर जगह भी अच्छी है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, शांति वाली जगह है, कोई टेंशन नहीं. इट वाज नाउ ऑल ऑपोजिट. टेंशन भी थी, जान का खतरा भी था, शांति भी नहीं थी, एंड वी वर ऑन द एज एवरी डे, एंड देयर वाज फाइट फॉर सर्वाइवल एवरी डे. द अमाउंट ऑफ आई मीन आप देखना सर, द प्लेस कॉल्ड बेंतियू, दे मैसेक्रेड 200 पीपल देयर. In Malakal, they massacred so many people near the airport, next to the river Nile. Nile के साथ खड़ा करा के they एकदम burst, they killed everyone in the line. I visited teaching hospitals where the heads, the beheaded heads were put in a particular manner onto the reception table of the hospital. I went to the church, I went to the masjid, all severed heads were put onto the tables and onto the ground. Bodies were thrown aside, piled up onto each other. I mean, that was the lowest of. I mean, I visualized it as a human butcher market where somebody goes to the meat market to buy mutton or something. It was like a literally, it was like a human butchery where people were just massacred. People were slaughtered after being shot, dead. Their pieces were torn apart. Sadism, extreme violence, child soldiers. They don't know what is right, what is wrong. बचपन से उन्हें बोल दिया हाँ इस बंदे को मारना है, कैसे मारना है? अच्छा, यू डोंट हैव अ वेपन, हियर टेक द machete, chop his head off, chop his legs and hands off, chop the private parts off, अलग अलग कर दो सब, and show it around to spread terror and fear. ऐसी mentality. So we were facing a militia जिनके हाथ में धनुष बाण होना चाहिए था, उनके हाथ में AK-47 आ गई थी. They were ruthless, and they never bothered कि आगे कौन है, क्या है, क्यों है, किस लिए है. They were not concerned. And we interviewed these captured rebels. We interrogated them. I asked them, what motivates you? They said there is a saying in our leader that whoever dies fighting this battle, after 1 week, they will be reincarnated and they will come back again and fight this war. I mean, to this extent, they were brainwashed that I was aghast and I was shell shocked that they actually believed it. And there was no means of us convincing them that there is no life after death. I mean, what do we tell them, sir? I mean, I remember the most difficult part. I mean, that time I was just engaged.
Okay.
I have kids now. I mean, child soldiers of 10 years of age, 14 years of age, 18 years of age. And there were ambushes in which we had to take aim at them, else we wouldn't have survived.
Which soldiers were these?
These are child soldiers, sir. Child soldiers. Child soldiers.
Child soldiers. Bloody hell.
Yes, sir. So, I mean, my hands did shake initially when I took aim at them. That, yeah, I think this is going to haunt me for a lifetime, and it still does. I mean, they say na PTSD नहीं होता, but I feel everyone is prone to PTSD. बचपन में आपको कोई ऐसी चोट लगी होगी बहुत गंदी, आपको हमेशा याद रहेगी. Then you have that, you're paranoid. यार ये नहीं करना क्योंकि मुझे चोट वैसे लगी थी. So I am like, it does come back at night. I do get up. It was very disturbing. It's not easy to pull a trigger on a minor who's got a weapon, who's ready to kill you with no reason to it. What do you do? I mean, people brag and talk about bravery कि मैंने ये किया, वो किया, ये किया. I have nothing like this to tell. I mean, end of the day, only the dead have seen war. I believe we are the cursed ones who've been made to witness it and keep it in our mind so that every day it irks and troubles us till the last day of our life. And these stories will go away with us. And I mean, but it needs to be told. The people, the youth
Yeah.
need to be told.
Yeah.
I have seen kids with no parents, orphans at the age of 5 and 6 year old, going to fish in the river Nile. And if they catch a fish, they get food to eat for that day. If they don't, they sleep hungry. उनका कोई माई बाप नहीं है. They have no clothes on them. They have no roof for them. They have nobody to give them water when they're tired. Their feet are so hard because they've been walking bare feet all their lives that even thorns break when they step onto the thorns.
Oh
They don't
God.
even they don't even penetrate their skin, sir. It's so hard in their feet. They are immune to malaria. And here, I mean, India's paradise. People complain about इसमें मसाला कम हो गया, उसमें मसाला ज़्यादा हो गया, पानी नहीं है. केचप नहीं है, मेरे कपड़े नहीं ठीक, ये गलत शेड है, मेरे घर का पेंट अलग कर दो यार. दे डोंट हैव अ हाउस, दे डोंट हैव क्लोथ्स, दे डोंट हैव अ चॉइस फॉर फूड, दे हैव नथिंग. I mean, that was the first time when a South Sudanese person told me, they used to call me the Indian ninja, sir. I never used to show my face. मैं पटके में ही रहता था. And they used to come up to me and tell me, and they used to call me chief, because anyone who they used to see doing a lot of work on ground, they used to address them as chief. They said, chief, you know, there is God everywhere in the world, but here it is only mental will of the human being to survive. So again, sir, it was, cost of war. रात को at times, रात को 2-2:30 बजे, it is a it is a no night airstrip. ठीक है सर. रात को मतलब कोई लैंडिंग फैसिलिटी नहीं थी. एंड दे यूज्ड टू लैंड n नंबर ऑफ एयरक्राफ्ट्स, एंड वी न्यू कि इसमें से large amount of weapon caches and armored vehicles were unloaded during night. एंड हमारा रात को हमें मना कर दिया गया था कि रात को 7 o'clock टू मॉर्निंग 6:30 or 7 o'clock, no patrolling allowed for UN, because they said our troops drink wine, so we will not take any guarantee for these troops कि वो तुम पे फायर नहीं खोलेंगे. But I said, then how? But then you are the rebel leader. This was after the war, in the middle of the war, when we negotiated with them that we need to get in our rations and all, because they were shooting our aircrafts down with RPG and machine guns and everything, sir. So we to actually come down to talking कि भाई, we need our rations. Don't do it, because we will get down. Why do you want our BMPs to enter onto the ground? And we did fire BMP rounds जब airport को occupy कर लिया था. And trust me, sir, they are shit scared of BMP. There were just 10, 12 rounds fired in one go. Thuk, 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 continuous. And the moment it happened, and जैसे ही हमारा turret दाएं बाएं जाता था, अ, मतलब तिथर बिथर हो जाते थे rebels कि भाई पता नहीं अगला फायर कहाँ जाए.
My
And
God.
eventually, and these rebels captured a government T-55 tank, जिसका वीडियो मैंने भेजा था. They were
I said,
indiscriminately They were indiscriminately firing at the civilians point blank with a tank. 200 मीटर दूर civilian जा रहे हैं, tank का गोला. Body pieces and parts were found on the roads with this much pothole. 2-2, 3-3 फुट के. वो मोटर तो थी नहीं, but they were these tank rounds. And initially तो सर हम जब पेट्रोलिंग जाते थे तो बॉडीज इतनी होती थी, we used to be careful. मैं बोलता था यार बॉडी है, थोड़ा दाएं बाएं करके ले लो. एंड में 1 दिन हो गया, 2 दिन, 3 दिन हो गया. देन द बॉय सेड, साहब कितनों को बचाएंगे, ये तो खत्म हो चुके हैं. कहते जहां हमें 1 घंटे में पहुंचते हैं, हम 2.5 घंटे में पहुंचते हैं इनको बचाने के चक्कर में. कहते हमारा ना एम्बुश हो जाए, उन्हें टाइम मिल जाए. आई सेड यस, राइट. Eventually, sir, as an officer, na, you have to take very difficult decisions, which are, I mean, uh, not so good. Eventually, I said, ठीक है यार, जाने दो गाड़ी. Eventually, we had to go all over on top of them. And they were being eaten by dogs and these Malibu birds, wild animals. They were all scavenging on them. And refugee camp में भी sir गदर था. It was a very bad feud war between Dinka and Nuer tribe. Nuer tribe was the aggressor, which was the rebel forces. Dinka tribes were the ones in which the President Salva Kiir was a Dinka. He was pro-China, and President Riek Machar was pro-US. As a result, the US was not getting any contracts for rebuilding of South Sudan. It was only Japan, some South Asian countries, and mainly China was getting the fair share of their oil, and US was left out. In fact, when the war began, there were 45 Navy SEALs, of which 4 got shot.
oh
Four
God.
got shot in the firefight. and with us a German delegation was stuck. They had come to visit us to, take in consideration the preparedness and everything. And during that time only the war began. And I had this American colleague of mine, Sean Rhodes. He was a county sheriff. They come on deputation with UN police. He had categorically said that I was lieutenant that time. He said, Lieutenant Samar, tomorrow if there is an ambush, I will come to you, so keep a weapon for me. I will be with your men till the end because I do not see any other place where I can survive till the last. And I mean, it was quite, we were on the edge, sir. At one point of time, they got a zoo gun loaded on a truck, firing all on our positions. And zoo gun का एक राउंड आई थिंक 50 सर वो तो इतने बड़े-बड़े गोले कंटेनर्स के थ्रू एंड थ्रू हो रहे थे। I mean, it was worse than the movie 13 Hours. We were surviving. I've sent you the video clipping of mortar shelling, जिसमें shell fell onto the hospital itself. वो पूरी पैथ लैब गायब हो गई थी. It burnt. Because these were fabricated shelters. I mean, sir, there were bullets flying, there were grenades being lobbed, there were RPGs being fired, there were mortar shells being thrown at us, there were tanks firing at us. ठीक है सर, there were anti-aircraft guns firing around us and on us. I mean, कुछ ऐसा बचा नहीं था that I mean, it was 400 against 6,000. 400 troops against 6,000 rebels. And I'll not name the country. One of the countries which had their contingent in our camp abandoned their post. I had to literally go and occupy it. And then later on, when they saw me, they came back. I said, "यार, जो हमने तुम्हारे बारे में सुना था, मैं कहा, you guys don't do that. You guys are recruited even by the British Army. How could you leave this and sit in the MPV? कैस्पर में जाके बैठ गए सारे. कहते साहब वहां पे ऑर्डर दिया था पर आपको देखा तो हम आदेश तोड़ के आपके पास आए हैं. I mean, imagine the motivation, sir, that they said that nahi, we will not abandon our post. We are leaving this MPV and going to the post. When they were asked why, they said Indian Army officer with two other soldiers is manning the post alone, and it will be a shame on our country that if he is martyred on that post because of us. And I mean, it was nep that. I wouldn't say further. But I would also salute the courage of that particular Jawan and one JCO who, despite orders, came to my assistance and said, "साहब हम आपके
Yeah.
साथ हैं." And that is the time when I said कि मैं तुम्हें कुछ नहीं होने दूंगा. पहले मुझे होगा जो होगा. इन्हें मारेंगे और इन्हें मारते-मारते मरेंगे. मतलब मारते-मारते मरेंगे और इन्हें साथ लेके मरेंगे. पर ऐसे नहीं जाएंगे. We will not die in vain. And that is where these boys got more motivated, and then 2-3 of them again came. That अच्छा साहब वो हौसले वाली बात होती है ना सर. It is one person who used to make the move, rest everyone then charges. So वो ही यहाँ पे इफेक्ट हुआ. And later on, sir, when things became good, the conflict became bit, the curve went flat from being at a surge. They clicked photos with me and everything, and they invited me over for dinner, and they gave me all the regard. I mean, अलग से JCOs invited me, ने बैठ के. It was a matter of great honor for me and my men. My boys were also invited. I mean, that was the camaraderie and bonding. And I feel, sir, that, when life and death wali situation aati hai na, that is where uh, that is where the blood becomes thicker in terms of being bonding together. तब खून और ज्यादा गाढ़ा हो जाता है कि यस वी आर वन. एंड बहुत इंसिडेंट्स हुए सर. वहां पे एक गेट था, गेट पे न्यूअर ट्राइब का बंदा था. ही न्यू बाहर सारे दिनका वाले हैं. ही सेड नहीं, आई विल नॉट लेट देम एंटर, दे माइट हैव वेपन्स. let them be out. I said, rebel forces are coming. I have just seen them. There is a post named on my name called Toor observation post. So I ran down because I realized कि वहां पे इतना इकट्ठा हो गया है mass of crowd and rebels were approaching. They were almost 2 kilometers short of our camp. I said they will be massacred. So I ran to the gate. I said, "What's the delay?" They said, "No, they can't come in. They're too much in number, and we cannot check so many at one go." Sir, I lost my mind. I cocked my weapon and I pointed it out at him. And I said, "Are you opening the gate or you want to do it my way?" And then, sir, जो उसके साथ जो दो colleagues थे, they pulled him back. They said, "You will not come in front and talk to that officer." मतलब कि भाई तू साइड हो जा और ठोक देगा टाइप. And then they came and said, "Yes, what do you want, uh, chief? Tell us." I said, "Open this damn door right now." And they said, "What if anyone has weapons?" I said, "That's me to answer and tackle, not your headache. Your job is what I'm telling you. To quote my name, put my name. I really don't care. They are coming in right away. I don't have time." And sir, my weapon were cocked. My boys with me, there were three boys. They also cocked the weapon and they were pointing it out at them. They said, "We will report this." I said, "You click a photo of mine, make a video and do it. But right now, open the gate." Then, sir, they opened and I said, "You guys move out." Then I placed my two boys there at the gate, along with the UN police के जो दूसरे foreign reps होते हैं. These were the locals. So in UN employment, sir, there's a clause that particular percentage of local staff has to be employed. ये local newers थे who were not letting the Dinkas come in. So as a result, I opened the gates, sir, and with all that gush of crowd and everyone, na, sir, I was overwhelmed. And somebody's coming and patting me on the shoulder. Elders are kissing me on the shoulder. Somebody's putting their hand onto my helmet as a blessing and everything. Somebody's hugging me, and I shouted that everybody lay down to the right. Just dump your items here. I said, "This you will get. Nobody's taking. You just go and lie down." सर वो 250-300 बंदे थे लेडीज they were elderly men, women, pregnant females, young girls, boys, husbands, brothers, sisters, mothers, wives. I mean, I was overwhelmed. And they came and they lay down onto the right side. They dumped all this stuff there. And बस सर जैसे गेट बंद किया, I was on my way to the post, and while being on the, ah, we took a break. So while coming back, sir, there was a sudden opening of fire altogether. And मेरे बैकग्राउंड में ना सर वो कंटेनर्स रखे हुए थे. And I could actually hear the you know clinging noise of bullets hitting into the container. ठंग 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 करते हुए. And मैं अकेला भागते हुए आ रहा हूँ because I had sent two boys there. One boy I sent to the BMP. जहाँ पे BMP was there facing the main gate. I said, in case इनमें इस crowd में से somebody has a weapon, I said, you take a pot shot on the head. मैं कहा, bullseye वाला headshot लेना, but be here. And मैं अकेला भाग रहा था sir, and I do not know, it was the hand of God, definitely, and probably some good deeds in life that I just reached the post alive with that fire happening everywhere. In my life पहली बार मैंने देखा था कि गोलियां लग रही हैं और मिट्टी ऐसे ऊपर ना उछल रही है. And it was mayhem, it was chaos. Went पीछे से, I then climbed onto the Turopi post. And the moment when I was on the edge ना सर एक दो गोलियां तो बिल्कुल पास से I could I knew कि ये थोड़ा सा भी ये आसपास का मामला था. 2 to 3 shots. And then third, when I almost reached up, हवलदार जितेंद्र caught me by my collar and literally जैसे बैग नहीं होता बस्ता हो ना खींच रहे हो, literally pulled me on container, and I was just thrown ऐसे out. And then he had already charged the AGL and the MMG was ready, sir. And eventually, sir, we, we opened fire. They said, साहब परमिशन लेनी है. मैं कहा मरने के बाद पूछेगा क्या? मैं कहा गो. मैं हूं ना जवाब देने के लिए. Then we opened fire, sir. And then eventually they knew कि we've opened up. Then वो आने लगे रेडियो मैसेज कि what is the status? What is happening? I said, sir, there is a mass of thousands of these rebels with weapons coming towards us. We've opened fire. These are warning shots to keep them away from our perimeter. Beyond a certain limit, if they come in, we will start killing them, sir. He said, but do not initiate the instigation part. He said, be on the defensive part. Just don't worry, sir. I'm on the defensive. Because we were there for peacekeeping, sir. Peace enforcement तो बाद में बना है. Once we started going and patrolling onto the cities and we started receiving fire at times, we need to fire back. So things were bad, sir. Eventually, there was a time when one of our teams got the rebel leader's son. We apprehended him and we got him into the camp. That is where the rebel force sat down to negotiate. And there's a photo of mine, sir, in which I'm there standing and this the son of the rebel leader is lying down onto the bed. So उसके लिए negotiations चली that they will not harm UN staff and assets. They will let the Russians come in. And बहुत सारी negotiations got through then. And the SPLA, Sudanese People Liberation Army, abandoned Malakal. उसकी भी वीडियो है मेरे पास. There were just a handful of 150 soldiers left. They were in thousands. And Ugandan Special Forces की भी team आई थी. They were massacred in the trenches. Later on, after 2 to 3 days, two soldiers came fully naked at night under cover at our gate to surrender. And I was at the airport duty just before the war began. That these guys had come with all the latest equipment, jing bang, fancy weapons, AMR, sniper rifles, these launchers and detection systems, radars, and all that. But tactically zero, sir. They knew the inside of the city. Ingress पता था, egress नहीं पता था कि in case they are overrun or overwhelmed, how do they move out? Tactical withdrawal कैसे करना है? How to regroup, reorganize and again head back? Zero. So they were killed there and then in the trenches right in front of our eyes. They gave a pitched battle to the rebels. In fact, the first wave they repelled. फर्स्ट वेव जो आया था, जिसका मैंने आपको वीडियो भेजा है, जिसमें ऐसे लग रहा है कि माय वाइफ एट टाइम्स आई यूज्ड टू टॉक टू हर तो बैकग्राउंड में गोलियां चल रही होती थी. शी यूज्ड टू से यार ये कौन सा टाइम है पॉपकॉर्न खाने का. तो मैं कहा पॉप बुद्धू रहा मैं कहा पॉपकॉर्न नहीं तल रहे वहां गोलियां चल रही हैं. तो शी लाइक वेयर. आई सेड वो दूसरे गेट पे चल रही है. तो शी सेड व्हाट आर यू डूइंग देयर. मैं कहा मैं अपना ही इलाका देख रहा हूं. मेरे इलाके में देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम. आई एम हियर. आई विल नॉट लीव माय प्लेस. आई एम ओके हियर. Okay, in case they need me, then I will go there. Else, this is my area. बाईं हाथ से दाईं हाथ. Yeah. So eventually, sir, that is how things were very organized. And हमारे आजू बाजू 8-8 फुट का सरकंडा था. We had no visuals of anyone coming into our camp or near our camp. And so there were lot many bullets fired. Living accommodation के अंदर there were bullets which had entered. ठीक है सर. And 30 की bullets had entered through containers into the bathrooms. I mean, in our gym there were bullet marks. उसकी भी photos हैं मेरे पास. So ऐसी कोई जगह नहीं थी. It was like a transparent logistic base. अगर गोली एक साइड से जाती थी तो पार तो हो ही जाती थी एक दो कंटेनर के थ्रू. And there were many, I mean, refugees की काफी डेथ हुई सर. जो ब्लाइंड बुलेट्स नहीं होती सर, जो अपने
हाँ.
कल्मिनेशन पॉइंट में आके लैंड करती हैं. Many bullets went
Right.
and a lot of, I mean, every day there were refugees who were fatally shot because of these bullets. Because sir, cover के लिए there was no hard shelter. They were just cloth, plastic wrappers, पन्नियाँ थी, डंडे लगे हुए थे. Nobody had actual sandbags other than us. And वही है सर कि overnight, how can you create space for 50 people? जगह ही नहीं. I mean, there were these public toilets there in the camp. They were overflown with human excreta and waste. And it was and the stench, the smell, it hit your head. I mean, our living conditions became hell for like 2-3 months. And sir, fight began जब 2 दिन के बाद जब पानी मांगने लगे ना refugees. That is where the temptation came in that we have to move out. And we wanted to negotiate with the rebels, but they were not willing to come up and talk. होता है ना सर कि आफ्टर द टेक ओवर और समथिंग ना आफ्टर 2-3 डेज दे टुक ओवर उनका एक रैप आता है बात करने एंड ऑल वो नॉट नॉन कोऑपरेटिव तो हमने फिर बीएमपीज निकाली लाइक देयर वर 4-5 बीएमपीज with proper tactical cover and then these vehicles to go alpha company was bang onto the river Nile which is approximately 1.5 kilometer from our headquarter location and वहां से फिर पानी टैंकर्स में भर के we were getting initial time of the war water was fair enough RO के through filter होके देते थे but later on in the war when they started massacring the people along river Nile and dumping bodies into the river the feces human feces का content इतना आ गया था कि it was so contaminated it was unfit for consumption for human use it was only used for washing and bathing but for drinking हमें उबालना पड़ता था अगेन उसे ट्रीट करना पड़ता था आरओ के आरओ प्लांट में एंड देन दैट वाटर वाज अगेन गिवन टू अस इन दीस बिग 20-20 लीटर्स की जो होते हैं सर कंटेनर्स एंड उन्हें हम प्रिजर्व करके रखते थे उसे हम चलाते थे सर 5-5 दिन 10-10 दिन दोस 20
Oh
लीटर्स ऑफ
God.
ड्रिंक सो थिंग्स वर वेरी ऑन द एज एमआरईज हमने खोल ली थी सर बिकॉज देन कुक हाउस अब इतना वैसे तो नहीं चल पाता एंड आवर फूड यूज्ड टू कम इन द बीएमपीज हमारे पे तो बीएमपी में तो वो टिफिन को बांध के पत्थर के साथ ऊपर फेंकते थे रस्सी के साथ फिर हम रस्सी से ऐसे खींचते थे इवेंचुअली बाद में हम ही ने रस्सी बांध ली कंटेनर के साथ नीचे तो काम बीएमपी पे खड़े होके टिफिन बांध देते थे एंड टू प्रोसीड we used to pull our tiffin eat our food here and only when we had to go and refresh ourselves we had to climb down the container go refresh ourselves and come back एंड इसी दौरान सर फिर पोस्ट का नाम भी तूरोपी पड़ गया बिकॉज तूरोपी वाज वन पर्टिकुलर पोस्ट दैट गेव एटलीस्ट 5 minutes ऑफ हेड्स अप कि अटैक आ रहा है बी रेडी तो 5 minutes was more than enough for everybody to make all the preparation तो ये था सर we were on the edge at times I mean we were told कि हमेशा वेस्ट के नीचे मारना है but here we were like कि भाई टेक अ हेडशॉट यार वेस्ट के नीचे मारने के बावजूद भी देवर इंजरिंग आवर ट्रूप्स एंड फायरिंग एट अस आई मीन we left personal messages to our families I left personal messages to my fiance recorded messages because the amount of rebel forces and the number and the weaponry that they got sir, I really felt we had no chance and within my heart of heart and I did not disclose it to anyone, but I told everybody that leave messages because on the 25th of December when the attack came, 24th को तो हमें information आ गई थी. When the attack was about to come, I told them, be ready. This is it. And I told them, don't worry. In their history books, they will talk about us rather than they talk about themselves. We'll give them such a fight. We'll go down fighting, but we'll make them remember they had to pay through and through. And sir, there were these young troops. Some were like shell shock is a medical term. There was a boy who froze during a firefight. He was just standing still. He was not able to react to any orders. Uh, he was just standing, sir. That was one thing which I heard of but never believed. And when that unfolded in front of me, I went down to the trench. I kicked him. I pushed him down. I caught him by the collar and shouted at him. I shook him up. When I shook him up, he came, he came around. और वो अपने होश में आया. मैं कहा क्या कर रहा है? एंड अगेन ही स्टार्टेड शिवरिंग एंड देन द जेसी सेड साहब इसे छोड़ दो, इसे यहीं लेटर रहने दो, इसका हथियार और एम्यूनिशन हम ले रहे हैं। मैं कहा इसे साहब पीछे भेजो तुरंत, because that guy's mind stopped working. The kind of noise of the fire taking place, na sir, was constant right next to you. Thud, 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 thud. I mean, बोलर जितेंद्र के खोखे मेरे यहाँ पे आके गिरे थे, मेरे तो यहाँ लिटरली जल गया था अंदर, and I was wearing a BPJ and everything. I had to literally pull out my BPJ to let the warm khokas come out from under my combat shirt. Then eventually I started closing ऊपर से अच्छे से प्रॉपर मैं ऐसे बंद करके रखता था। इसमें चले जाते थे सर, गरम खोके फायरिंग करते टाइम। यहाँ पे it used to burn at times. I mean, it was so real and it was on the edge, sir. I mean, जो 13 hours वाली कहानी थी ना, it was like that, sir. I mean, you had RPGs being fired at you, you had grenades being lobbed at you, you had aimed fire coming at you, you had no place to take cover other than very limited spaces. We couldn't bunch up because there was mortar fire coming. One particular shell landing up at a crowded bunch of soldiers, or एक नहीं जाता सीधा section strength ही जाती 10 जने.
Correct.
So I mean, it was hell on earth for those 72 hours. I mean, ये 13 hours था, हमारा 72 hours चला सर. And then this happened on the 25th of December. January में again the war came, again firefights took place. Slowly and steadily, sir, our resources started depleting. Our food became less, rations became less, water became more contaminated, and fatigue started coming in. Lack of sleep crept in. So a lot of problems started occurring, sir. So as a result, sir, it took a toll on us psychologically. It was very overwhelming, sir. And as an officer, you cannot disclose to a soldier that the situation is grim, but you can always say that if the situation is grim, it is an opportunity to overcome it. So that is the kind of situation that was there. We were under tremendous pressure. Child soldiers were there who were taken out. Very difficult decision to take in one's life. Very hard on our minds and thoughts. And I mean, they used anti-aircraft guns on each other.
God.
We saw we saw bodies open from here right down till the torso. ऐसे खुली हुई थी. I mean, sir, it was very dreadful. I mean, I don't talk about all this in front of my children or my family, but this needs to be told to the youth. Indian Army is just not just another army, or a normal army. And we maintained our grit. We were told to stay an extended tenure of another year in South Sudan and carry out operations. And Rajiv sir was at a place called Abay, North Sudan. That was
Okay.
still better. The level of
तो
violence was
आप लोग
much
साथ
less.
में थे? आप
नहीं
लोग
नहीं
साथ
sir.
में थे क्या?
Abay was another UN mission prior to South Sudan coming into existence. So South Sudan came into existence in 2011.
Right.
So South Sudan का civil war was terrifying. अबे में तो skirmishes वगैरह चलती रहती थी, वहां पे ऑयल की लड़ाई थी, वॉरलॉर्ड्स की लड़ाई थी. यहाँ पे तो there was a proper tribal war between two factions, Dinka and Nuer. And the worst part is the army, which had Nuers, they defected. They moved out with tank, weapons, armory, soldiers, resources. कि भाई हम, if there was a newer general or a newer brigadier or somebody, they moved out with all the jing bang with all the newers. कहते हैं अब भाई we'll fight against the army. And at some places in the military barracks, the newers or the dinkas turned onto one another and shot each other. So it was
God,
utter chaos because end of the day the rebel forces were wearing the same uniform that the Sudanese Liberation SPLA, Sudanese People Liberation Army was wearing. Only difference was one particular band they were wearing here. That's it. And Bentiu mein to it was a open massacre, sir. They just wiped out villages. In Malakal also they wiped out villages. But the extent of damage was not so much because we intervened. We retaliated. Bentiu mein there was less of retaliation. There was more of defensive posture because वहाँ पे strength of UN was less, so they took advantage of that. जो हमारे साथ अकोबो में हुआ. Akobo mein one of our temporary operating base was overrun by the Nuer tribe, and they killed 46 Dinkas, point blank in the camp. And they took hostage around one platoon strength of our troops. Officers threatened to kill, but they were told that they'd already shot two of our JCOs, Dharminder Saab and Satyendra Saab of AMC. They had already shot them in the chest, point blank. And Rifleman Mandal from EME was shot in the chest. He was alive. And they were made very clear by the officer. I'll not name them. They said, it's okay that you kill us, but trust me, you will not live another day to see the sunrise. You can kill us. It's okay. And I mean, sir, that rescue operation was very on the edge. We really didn't know when the helicopters were moving in to get them out. कि हम पे ambush होगा, क्या होगा, will they fire RPGs at us? How will they might target us? What if one of the birds is hit and crashes down? How do we retrieve the bodies? How do we rescue? I mean, it was like a typical that Black Hawk Down kind of a scenario where we had to be, proactive in our planning and everything. Contingency plans had to be there. If not this, then this. If not this, then this. But when you are 600 kilometers away from the headquarters, I mean, what do you do even if there is a contingency? I mean, where's the backup? How do you manage? It was very difficult. And anyhow, sir, we pulled it off. We pulled it off. And thankfully, things were balanced. I would not say we had an upper hand, but we were just able to manage to sustain them from massacring those 15,000 to 20,000 refugees in our camp. We saved those many lives, and those 300 lives which I got in at the nick of the point. And psychologically, बहुत वो था, sir. It pressed us a lot. Many of the troops used to break down at times, and मेरे साथ भी होता था. I used to keep shut. At times, I used to avoid. I mean, कई बार गेट टुगेदर भी होने लग गए थे बीच में once things became a bit normal. I used to avoid. My perception towards life changed. और डॉक्टर्स ने इतना बॉडी पार्ट्स नहीं देखे होंगे जितने हमने ओपन एंड खुले में बॉडी पार्ट्स देखे, हाथों से उठाए when the wounded came in with amputated hands and legs. हम लिटरली हाथों में लेके जाते थे कि सर ये उसका बंदे का हाथ है, ये उसकी टांग है सर. And I mean, things were not so good, sir. I mean, there were soldiers who came in with amputated hand, smelling, full of gangrene, flies, and telling doctor उसे अंदर लेके गए, got treated him. 2 घंटे बाद he moved out. दो दिन बाद, after 2 days, 48 hours, he moved out with a drip in his hand. उसके बावजूद पूछ रहे मेरी वेपन कहाँ है, मैं कभी destroyed it. बाहर गए, उसके बंदे वेट कर रहे थे. And I asked him when he was leaving, I said, what are you going to do? I'm going to fight the war. And you don't have a hand already. Your one hand is already occupied with that. He said, I'll still fight. अब मैंने देखा, I've seen, sir, सिंगल आर्म वाले बंदे एक आर्म से पूरा एक ही फायर कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, एंड एक के नीचे दे हैव टाइड अ वाई शेप की स्टिक एज अ बाइपॉड, और एक के साथ ऐसे एम फायर ले रहे हैं, मैगजीन खत्म हो रही है, दे पुट द बैरल ऑन टू द ग्राउंड, अपने राइट जितनी भी आर्म है या अपने टांगों के बीच रख के मैगजीन हटाते हैं, मैगजीन चढ़ाते हैं, देन दे बाएं हाथ से टर्न्स ओवर द वेपन, अपने राइट फुट के बड़े टो पे वो जो कॉकिंग हैंडल है ना सर, he pushes it down with his foot. The weapon gets loaded, picks it up with the left hand, and again goes into battle. I mean, I don't know where it's going to stop. I mean, that is the determination, sir. और कुछ काम भी नहीं था वहां पे, जब कोई एम्प्लॉयमेंट तो थी नहीं, लड़ना ही था वहां. और मोटिवेशन क्या होती है, हाँ, व्हेन यू गो टू वॉर एनी हाउस यू सी, टेक ओवर। उसके अंदर गाड़ी खड़ी है तुम्हारी, उसके अंदर लेडी है तुम्हारी, बच्चे हैं ले लो, वॉट एवर बिलोंगिंग है योर्स। ये मोटिवेशन होती थी, बट वी आर गोइंग, किल देम एंड ऑक्यूपाई। ये हाल था सर। सो थिंग्स वर नॉट गुड, लॉट ऑफ हंगर एंड malnutrition deaths took place. It was very sad sir, or these slow deaths were bad, and I really wouldn't know much. So क्या बताऊं सर मैं, I mean
But
this
yeah,
is what
what
it is.
Samar, what experiences भाई you have had? I tell you, even फौजीज यहाँ पे जो सर्विंग फौजी, बहुत कम लोगों को ये नसीब होता है, ये जो आपने तजुर्बे देखे हैं। ये बताइए, आपने इतना कुछ देखा, ग्लेशियर में देखा आपने, यूएन में, साउथ सुडान में देखा, recently you are attacked with a very rare virus. You had come to Delhi to give a TEDx talk, and then people would take selfies with you. Obviously, तो कहाँ पे किधर क्या virus, you never know in the public life. And then you
The
were on ventilator, and then I mean the story. I mean that we you and I we spoke in fact at midnight, and a long story. It was like
the
really. I mean I don't know. It was very moving. Would you mind sharing a bit about that, May Summer?
sir, I gave my TED talk on 12th of April in Delhi, and during lunch I interacted with approximately 250 to 300 people. There were a lot of photographs being taken, a lot of selfies being taken, a lot of personal conversations taking place face to face. In the evening, when I had my train, I had a sore throat. Sore throat was the previous day when I traveled from Gwalior to Delhi. मैंने probably ice cream खा ली थी, which I had eaten after n number of ages. And उसके बाद sir, my throat was a bit coarse. When I delivered the talk, my throat was a bit coarse. Evening when I reached Mohali, sir, I was then on 13th, fever came in, sir, 104. ठीक है sir, it was mild fever, and 14th weakness came in. Lot of sweating took place. My BP was very high. I was taken to the hospital. They delivered some injections and IV. After a few hours, I felt good. I came back home. 15th morning, again, the temperature came back 104. This time, I had more difficulty in breathing. So that evening, my dad checked my SpO2. It was down to around 80, sir, between 75 to 80. And I was sweating. I felt uneasy. Then I myself said, we must go. So when I reached the hospital, I was admitted in emergency immediately. Coincidentally, John Abraham called me. Yeah, मैं 27 तारीख को बंदा भेज रहा हूँ for the script writing. I said I can't commit because I am right now admitted. And he said what's gone wrong? I said I am not sure because sir 14th को COVID test कराया negative.
I'm sure
5th
our viewers would want to know why John Abraham had called you as well. I know that story. I would like you to tell the viewers as well, if you wish to.
sir उसके अंदर actually sir there's a talk between a biopic which is going to take place. So he's more adamant that the more keen that a biopic be made on this UN incident which has taken place. And as a result, sir, just a second, sir, if you
Yeah,
could
yeah.
just give me a minute.
Please go ahead. So there's a biopic being going to be being planned on Mayor Samar. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So
So in this biopic, sir, so he said कि मैं script writing के लिए बंदा बॉम्बे से भेज रहा हूँ on 27th. So as a result, I said I am admitted. I really do not know what is wrong with me. So he said, I just hope you're fine. I said I feel I'm fine, but I'm not. Otherwise, I never insist on going to hospital. मेरा तो यही होता था सर कि चलो ठीक है, ठीक हो जाएगा एक दो दिन में, कोई बात नहीं. But I told him, John, I really don't know. I'll get back to you. But अभी I'm not in a condition to talk. Also, मेरा अभी बुरा हाल है. So he was quite worried. He said, please do get back. I said, I'll let you know once I get back. मतलब ठीक होता हूँ. And फिर वो get back sir वो 20-22 दिन बाद हुआ. I was on ventilator for 15 days. On 20th of April, sir, I was administered CPR for good 15-20 minutes, and I was revived back. early morning on 20th of April, and I had contracted a virus which is called NDLM1, and
Okay.
it is got properties of antibacterial and antifungal properties. It is immune to both, so it has got immunity against all antibiotics other than just two particular antibiotics in the world, which were fortunately available in Bombay. So the medicines were also flown in, sir. And my blood test was carried out in Bombay. My blood sample had gone through air, by air, and to Bombay, and they did the test. It took 48 hours. So initial 5 days, it was just they were trying these different combination of drugs, which were not. My body wasn't reacting to it. My lungs had filled with sputum and water, sir, and my lungs had eventually collapsed. So I was on the ventilator throughout, and oxygen levels were not coming up, and they were worried कि brain में कुछ हो ना जाए because of lack of oxygen and all. And eventually on 20th, the line went straight onto the monitors, and after 20 minutes they got me back, and Dr. Jasmeet was the one with his team, and Dr. Rimple was there, and the nursing staff and junior doctors. I mean, hats off to them. In fact, they consulted the doctors in R&R Hospital, Delhi, and in Bombay, and American Medical Association, the group of doctors there. They then suggested the American Association that you give him this combination of drugs. So after 6 days, on the seventh day, they started administering me. After they revived me and everything, they administered these particular drugs, combination of drugs. That is where my O2 levels started to come back. My parameters started to become normal. My blood pressure started to become normal. So things started to normalize then, sir. But it took its toll on my body. I lost 17 kgs in those 20 days, and my skin color went black. My full face, my arms were filled. There was a pipe over here, and over here there were three pipes in the neck. C line here, sir. यहाँ पे. So there were three pipes here, one here, mouth, nose. So my hands were full of these injections. So eventually, I made it out alive, sir. बच गए. And I can only say that it is only because of the prayers. That is all, sir. Because I really, at, I was at peace, the maximum peace that I could ever be at mentally and physically within my subconscious mind. I was, in tranquil, in pin drop silence, floating in space with nobody around. It was just so peaceful. And that was the kind of vision that I had, sir. I saw. And the things that I told, that's a personal aspect which I discussed with you, sir. And I mean, that's a personal thing which I would keep it between us. Probably जब biopic banegi, then I can tell them the story. But that was as good as me having a conversation and talking to God and coming back, being sent back by Him, and prayers being answered. And I mean, sir, I am now back with a meaning, with a reason, with a purpose to show the youth the correct path, to motivate them. There is nothing called failure till you yourself accept and declare that things are a failure. So it's all in the mind. ठीक है, sir. If people from humblest of backgrounds can make it, then I really feel that others can also do it. The only problem is in India, the society is divided on the basis of the work that people do. And that causes a lot of reluctance in anybody and everybody to take up, different kind of jobs. Whereas I see abroad, a man who wears a proper gas suit to go into the sewerage to clean the sewer. ठीक है सर, सीवरेज को पूरा क्लीन करने के लिए that guy gets paid in thousands of pounds per month on that basis. I mean, there they have done specialization in every aspect, be it plumbing, be it electrician job, or be it masonry, or artisan, or be it anything related to sculpture, craftsmen, and sir, craftsmanship, anything or whatsoever. Uh, they have actually excelled because they don't have a social structure in terms of class and caste and everything, sir. It's all uniform, and education system is uniform, health system is uniform. So a lot many things to be done, which I think I can contribute a lot to our nation. I'm not going to sit still. I'm going to contribute in some big way or the other now. And mature outlook होना चाहिए, balanced view होना चाहिए. I mean, one should call a spade and a club, black and white. ठीक है ना sir? Nothing to beat around the bush. And I mean, one should mind their own business and be happy and take care of family. One should be more family oriented in the sense keeping your parents together, siblings together. Even if you get married later on, try to stay together. Yeah, maintain that bond. Without it, there's no point. I mean, there's no future. It's going to be difficult. One man army can't do anything. It's got to be teamwork. That's how life is. It's a team. Though it is always lonely at the top after you achieve success. But the way how one climbs up the ladder towards success has to be, as a part of a team. As there is a saying, we are rockets with boosters. Boosters are our friends. So there's a threshold to which the boosters can sustain that pressure and last. Then they drift away. It's not their fault. They were destined to go only till there. And the rockets are the ones who are motivated to go beyond other pressures and heights where they can make a mark. So that is the path where we have to tread on our own. How do you do it? How do you plan about it? How do you keep your focus? How do you maintain your discipline? How do you bounce back when your morale is at the lowest? Are factors that you got to actually question yourselves. And I feel it is wiser to get motivated by looking at somebody who's more successful than you than a person who's less successful than you. Because you are in a state of denial if I look at somebody who's weaker than me and I say that, nahi, I am fine. That is wrong. If I see somebody doing better than me, and that is where should be the tipping point where I should pull myself up together to reach to the heights and live up to the pressures that that particular person has taken to reach there. Because nothing comes easy and nothing comes quick. As there is a saying that slow and steady is the fastest way to success. That is what I've been trying to tell the true our youth so far. And let's see, sir, how things unfold and shape up. Otherwise, I'm ready to assist. I'm ready to conduct talks and workshops in terms of meditation and in terms of keeping focus to your objective and goals, and how not to get carried away by anything which somebody just enters into your life and says, "Arey yaar, ye kar lo." So whatever you've thought of and planned goes out the window, and then you're lured and you get carried away into that particular direction. These are, I would say, these are the demonish, devilish thoughts which tend to actually distract you from your main objectives and goals. So your fight is how to remain focused, how to keep your objective, your dreams alive. And that it will begin by first accepting what the reality is. First accept where you are and what you are, then move ahead.
We are Samar truly grateful to you for your time and आपके साथ गुफ्तगू में 2 घंटे से ज़्यादा कहाँ बीत गए, time just flew. Did not
Yes.
realize. I recall that you were, and especially today, and कोई बोलेगा नहीं that you were unwell at one time. Touch wood. I mean, you are looking fighting fit और आप ऐसे ही रहिए, हंसते रहिए, stay positive. I keep drinking lots of water, keep remaining hydrated, and
So,
lot of love and regard to you, and of course, lot of respect to your family. Please convey my regards to everyone. And sir को जय हिंद पक्का बोलेगा भाई.
I will, sir. And sir, we have yet to discuss rescue of students during Op Ganga from Ukraine. My team and I pulled out
Ah,
approximately 10 to 12,000 students out of that 20,000 students.
say again.
So, Op Ganga, which took place in the month of September oblique October, sir, in Ukraine. So, we got out students from Kherson and from Sumy, from Pesochin, and from Kiev, and from Odessa in
We as
South
in who?
Ukraine.
We as in who?
Sir, I was there, and then there was a team of Khalsa Aid. They contacted me. Then
Ah,
there
right,
there
right.
were there were few groups who were in contact with these hostel students, and then my news came on India Today as what precautions are to be taken by students during wartime. After seeing that, the people started contacting me, the parents in India, that could you get our children out? So I said, I definitely can do my best. Uh, Tell me. Then I told them that get me access to them. Then there was a group of 200 200 parents. They added me to the group, and then I started coordinating with my UN friends because Ukraine Trans Airways used to be the helicopter service of Me-17s who used to transport us. So I had many Ukrainian pilots as good friends. I contacted them. Then I contacted few of my UN friends who were there at Kiev coincidentally. And then, sir, we started a network of coordinating the movements of students from Kharkiv and Sumy, Lviv, and started getting them out to Poland, Slovakia, Slovenia, and Romania, and to these bordering Poland and all these countries, Hungary. तो ये पूरी countries में sir Khalsa Aid got in touch. They asked, where do you want us to set up camps? So I told them that these are the border checkpoints. Start setting up camps there. So they started setting up camps there. Then mm, there was a Sindhi couple in Chernihiv, that is the north state of Ukraine, where the Russian forces came in. So his wife was 7 months pregnant. So how we rescued him was a separate story altogether. That they were coming in a convoy. The first vehicle got attacked. I was on call. He was lying on the ground. His wife is a Ukrainian. She shouted at the guards in Ukrainian language. Then these guys got up. I was on the WhatsApp call. Then phone cut gaya. Then after 4 5 hours, he gave me a call. He said they were interrogating people, the Ukrainian forces on these highways, who did not have a Ukrainian accent, who were more pro-Russian or Russian accent, were being shot point blank. And he saw a pile of bodies of 30, 40 people of Russian accent and the related to Russia and all, piled up on the roadside, being shot point blank. There were mines laid onto the road openly. So the cars had to actually become a bit, diagonal and then cross the road over the mines. So it was like that. So things were very on the edge. And Majnani, Sanjay Majnani is the name of the individual. And इसने बोला था sir, I'm moving out at night. I said, are you stupid? You move out at night for you or for the Ukrainians or Russians? Anything that moves at night is the enemy. They will kill you, irrespective of
Right.
who you are. I said, drop the plan. Then he immediately called up his group and said, we will not move at night. Then they moved early morning. Despite moving at 4:30 in the morning, the first car in their convoy of 8 cars was blown up by a RPG by the Ukrainian forces at a particular checkpoint. So, I mean, sir, it was a very electrifying experience. इसका मैं आपको अलग से बताऊंगा, sir. It's a one full episode of 1 hour at least. How we got onto it, how I got out the map, how I was in touch with the parents, how we interlinked and set up the network, how we got the list of the taxi drivers, bus drivers, के names and everything, how we coordinated कि यहाँ पहुंचो, यहाँ पहुंचो, यहाँ पहुंचो. Eventually, the Indian embassy came into effect. I was in touch with them. They were quite appreciative, but there was no recognition in terms of this assistance. There was a person from Dubai, Mr. Girish Pant. He had a major role to play in introducing me to these various WhatsApp and Telegram groups where we started the extraction of these students through my UN contacts and connections. And because they gave me the transporters' names and numbers. So eventually we were giving them the transport and getting these students out. So, and I spoke to the Deputy Prime Minister of Chechnya, and
Okay.
I spoke to him for 6 minutes, especially when the shelling increased at Sumi. And there was a point of time when the girls at a particular hostel protested and said they are going to march towards Russia. There was a team of 15 buses waiting on the Russian side opposite Sumi. In case the negotiations were successful, then the team of a particular SF team was ready of the Indian forces to move in from there to get the students on the buses and get them out into Russia, which eventually did not materialize. There were a lot of dirty games being played at the railway station where they were just taking, in a bogie of 100 passengers, they were taking 10 Indian students and 90 Ukrainians. So there were a lot of discrimination that was taking place. There were a lot of students who were crying. A lot of students said, Ki, sir, we are going to go walking. I said, are you mad? Your night temperature you was falling into -5, -10. And they were talking about walking 100 kilometers at night. I said, there is no shelter. There are no places where you can stop and have food. I said, it's a war-torn area. You will be, it'll be a fatality by nature. Nobody's going to kill you. And nature which will, take you down. So don't go there. So Pesochin was the nearest village from Kharkiv. So ये सर पेसोचिन में आके they stayed there. फिर पेसोचिन में काफी इंडियन बसेस आई, इंडियन एम्बेसी के थ्रू बसेस आई. But the sad part was that uh, there's a corruption angle also to it. ये जो agents थे who got these admissions done of these students, they were the ones who were also providing buses. They were charging $500 per child. And one bus had a capacity of 40 seats. They were putting in 60 students in one bus. 60. And they were taking $500 per child from everybody. I started getting calls, sir, मेरे पास तो dollar ही नहीं है. मैं कहा, I said, make me talk to the fifth year students. I told the seniors, I said, you will ensure that you take out of 5. I said, तुम अपना ग्रुप बना लो 5-5 लोगों का. मैं कहा, उसमें से तुम्हारे 3 तो फर्स्ट ईयर के ही होने चाहिए. Because they are new kids, they are aloof, they don't know anything. And then, sir, that is how then ये groups बना के they got them in. बातों में कि हाँ, we will contribute, pay for him. Got them. Lviv में जब उतारा तो they didn't pay. They just moved out of the bus. So forget it. You're not going to give you anything. ओके सर, क्या ही करते, उनके पास अपने लिए पैसे थे. तो मैंने कहा
सही है
एटलीस्ट
यार,
बातें करके
क्यों देंगे?
प्रैक्टिकली फुसला के मैंने कहा चलो
अरे
जस्ट
जान बचानी
टेक
थी
देम.
भैया,
हाँ, आई सेड जस्ट
जान
टेक
बचानी
देम
थी.
विद यू. एंड आई फेल टू अंडरस्टैंड. आई मीन सर, इनिशियली तो ऐसा था कि when I called few these one particular student in Sumi, she said, "Who are you? What authority do you have? Are you a government representative? Who are you to give me instructions?" And then she blocked me.
ओए ओए ओए.
I mean, and it was just 2 days prior to the blockade of Sumi. I mean, if she had cooperated, I could have actually got the students out. And then I spoke to the contractor. Contractor was shaking. He was crying on the phone. He said, "Sir, I have a 3-month-old baby myself. I have a Ukrainian wife." I said, "What have you done? Are you sleeping?" Because the girl said, Ki, our parents have told not to listen to anybody but the contractor. So I am sorry, I will not listen to you. I said, I'm retired Major Toor. I'm here to pull you guys out. He said, so what? We don't know your authenticity. Who are you? What are you? I mean, I did face humiliation at times, but I can understand. During war, it's very difficult to be in a state of mind where you're deprived of food and water, electricity, basic amenities, and somebody is calling you and trying to, sitting far away, thousands of kilometers, saying, I'll get you out. and you are in a war torn zone where bombs are falling and you are like in disbelief कि यार ये बंदा मुझे क्या बाहर निकालने वाला है, यहाँ पे तो bombs गिर रहे हैं. Are you joking? You should be at my doorstep or in front of my room to get me out. कहते मेजर साहब be practical. Then I said, okay, I understand your issue. Okay, fine. Then I contacted the contractor. So basically, Telegram groups were a very great help, sir. Because उसमें कोई लिमिट नहीं होता है कितने members हुए हैं. So we were, I mean, there. Lot of coordination took place. Lot of directions were being taken by me. I mean, मेरे से पूछ रहे थे क्या करना है क्या नहीं. Then I spoke to the deputy minister of Chechnya. I said, sir, please, if you could stop the shelling. He said, Major, first I gave a call to establish my identity. They took 5 minutes to check back phone number and everything and details. And then they called me back. I said, I'm retired Major so and so. There are students stuck in Sumi. Please get them evacuated. They said, tell us one college which has been hit by a shell. They said, Major Toor, these universities have been there before Ukraine was formed as a separate country. कहते our doctors have studied from these colleges. So just don't worry. We have the coordinates. None of them will be touched. So ये केदरोव की forces के vice president ने मुझे personally बोला that none of the colleges will be touched, whether they are Indian students in it or Ukrainian. We will not touch these institutions. And I mean, they stood by their word. I asked them to get few students rescued because sir सारे hostel में नहीं थे. They were in civil areas also in buildings, societies. So they said, give me their coordinates and tell them to put the Indian flag on the rooftops. Now, Ukrainian colleges have a tendency to confiscate flags and put them in the cupboards when any foreign student comes. But they don't want any foreign flags. उनका वो नाजी टाइप माइंडसेट है कि भाई यूक्रेन का ही होगा, बाकी किसी कंट्री का फ्लैग यहाँ होना नहीं चाहिए. They were that strict. 2-3 स्टूडेंट्स ने उन्हीं कॉलेजेस में अलमारियां तोड़ वोड़ के अपने फ्लैग्स निकाले. फिर इन्होंने मेन एंट्रेंस, खिड़कियों पे एंड छतों पे इन्होंने, फिर मैंने बोला लगाओ एंड मैं कहा पत्थर रखो एंड एवरीथिंग, बिकॉज द रशियंस वर मॉनिटरिंग एवरीथिंग बाय सैटेलाइट एंड ड्रोन्स एंड देन शेलिंग. सो जहां जहां इनके इंडियन फ्लैग्स छत के ऊपर स्टूडेंट्स ने लगा दिए थे, so they were aware कि ये Indians are here, so they avoided these areas. I mean, what else do you do during war, sir? यही है, और कोई चारा है नहीं. And at times I said, अगर नहीं है वहां पे कुछ, what if there is no flag? They said, tell them to collect wood and burn it on the rooftop. कहते we'll get the heat signatures on the rooftop means they are Indians. I said fine. And कहते जब आग लगाएंगे it should be मतलब जैसे wickets होती है ना सर, तो he said it should be in only one straight line. कहते वो पाइल अप नहीं होना चाहिए, एक elongated line में आप आग लगा दें. किया स्टूडेंट्स ने.
We are so proud of you, Major Samar. You have really gone beyond the call of duty and tremendous selflessly. So nice, and I think God's been very, very kind to you. He's given you a lot of opportunities to do things which nobody else can even think of doing. And thank you very much for your time. Truly grateful. I really enjoyed chatting up with you. देखो आपसे 2 सवा 2 घंटे आराम से यूं बीत गए कि बिल्कुल मालूम नहीं पड़ा बिल्कुल भी. Really, यार, you are superb, bro. You are amazing. And before we go, I would tell you, एक मैंने आपका interview देखा था. Someone asked you, but started off by saying, I think it was in military mantra. Akash asked you, why do they? My first question to you is, why do they call you Indian Ninja? I hope if he's answered the question while talking there. UN में इनको ये नाम न था. दूसरी बात एक और जाते मैं ये बोलूँगा. We get random messages on social media. All of us get, but Samar gets flooded by these messages by youngsters who ask him, who are you, what are you? I believe you are known as a legend. Why do people call you as a legend? अब वो खुद बोलेगा क्या? मेरे समर खुद बोलेगा, हाँ, I'm a legend. He's a very humble, modest, down to earth, underplaying guy. I will tell you, now you've heard his stories. These are the stories and more, by the way, which make him a legend. And Major Samar, thank you very much for your time. Truly grateful, and carry my regards to everyone at home, bhai. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Jain sir.
Bye, brother.
Sir.
Lots of love.
Sir.
Bye.
Sir. जय हिंद सर।
I'll just go offline. एक minute, I'll just go off air. एक second.